Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Charging my tech. Ah, man. Okay. This is going to be fun, I guess. I don't know. Let me see. Doing my usual things. That's not what you wanted. Let me see. This is going to be a fun discussion today. You know what? Surprisingly, I'm probably going to need that back on. Okay. That's good to know. Can I get that? And then, There. What? No. Oh, no. Okay. Move you here. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Give me a second here, guys. You know my usual thing. Let's do that. Oh, okay. I see. I get the picture. Yeah, you know what? I am smoking in here. I can tell. You are probably going to have to turn that fan back on. We should be done here. Don't you just love the aspect of setting up? I mean, it's got to be lovely. Like, who doesn't love setting up before you start a video? All right. So we should be good to go. I'm just going to turn you on to start this off. And then we just going to get going where we got to get going. I guess for the most part. Ooh. Alright, guys. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. Hope everything's going well with everybody. Hopefully everybody's doing okay, doing well. It's been a pretty interesting day. Well, not really much. It's a Tuesday. So not much happens on a Tuesday like that, but you know, it's a chill day. You know, we ain't got football all the way till Saturday because, you know, it's the final week of the season. So you already know that all the games are going to be played. We start things off with football Saturday against the Steelers, 4:30 Eastern, so that should be interesting. Personally, don't really mind it, honestly. Get our game out the way, and I could just enjoy all the chaos that's happening around the league, because week 18 is finna have every team stressful, man. If your team's fighting for a playoff spot, you finna be stressed. If your team's already secured a playoff spot, you're fine. If you're Baltimore or San Francisco, this week doesn't really hold any weight to you. You're kind of just here, you know, watching and seeing how things goes. But obviously, at the same time, while you do understand that, you know, you're not really fighting for anything, you also got to make sure that you're prepared for anything that can happen. And we'll probably look to discuss this because I want to know. I don't know if we're going to get any talk or discussion from Harbaugh about what they're going to do, but the whole discussion about whether or not we should sit our starters or play, I'm probably going to talk about that tomorrow. Today I kind of wanted to do something a bit interesting here for the most part. I wanted to talk about 2019. I feel like now that we've reached the end of the season and we're heading into the playoffs, right back as the number one seed, I feel that it's the perfect time to sit back and discuss 2019 Ravens and compare them to this 2023 Ravens team we see right now. I feel like it's time to discuss that because a lot of people already know the Ravens have secured the number one seed, and they already know we're going in to the playoffs with a first round bye. So the first game we'll play is in the divisional round against whoever, be it Cleveland, be it Houston, Indianapolis, Jaguars, if they somehow Bills, whoever it is. We're going into the playoffs knowing that we got that first round bye, so we're not worried about the wild card round. We'll be paying attention to some of the guys we may end up meeting. I think a lot of people believe that it's at this point it's damn near guaranteed that the Ravens and the Browns are destined to meet in the playoffs this year. That seems to be the mindset many people have. Even though it's crazy for people to have this assumption, I get that the NFC South this year has been a mess, but for people to just automatically assume Cleveland's going to win and to completely throw off everything else that's happening, I think it's a bit too much. I think it's a bit too crazy, a bit too wild to already make that assumption that the Cleveland Browns are destined to meet the Ravens. Like, they have to play a wild card game. We do understand this, right? They have to play a wild card game. A wild card game they are not guaranteed to win, but a lot of people are already giving them the nod as if the NFC South teams are just garbage and they're going to sit back. If you're the Browns, the team you probably want to face off the most is the Jaguars. I think those boys may be cooked, but I don't think Jacksonville's just going to sit back and just get bullied like that. The team you probably want to face least out of the NFC South is going to be the Texans. Not the NFC, the AFC. My bad, Dean. I'm sorry. I was looking at some playoff scenarios for the NFC because I was seeing a bunch of stuff about the Eagles, man. Apparently, there's a lot of chaos going on in the locker room. Some people are pissed off. They're going at each other. There was a lot of conversation about A.J. Brown and his demeanor. So my mind was on the NFC right now. My bad. I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia, but they are collapsing right now. You are correct. The AFC South. I think the team Cleveland probably wants to face the most out of the AFC South teams would be the Jacksonville Jaguars. They tortured those guys, and I think they feel comfortable in saying we could beat them. The team they probably want to face the least would be the Texans if C.J. Stroud's healthy, because they haven't gotten the chance to face him. With the way that guy's been playing, they're not guaranteed to be able to just take down C.J. Stroud like that. I think the Texans are clearly a different team when that guy lines up for them. Maybe beat the Colts if they win. Honestly, they could take the Colts. I think the Colts would be a more even matchup. I think the Colts are an underrated squad, but who knows? I don't know if I can expect anything from Gardner Minshew taking on that Browns defense. I know if C.J. Stroud has a chance against that Browns defense, he's going to be able to do damage. Would it be enough? I don't know. But it is what it is in that situation. Either way, people just are automatically assuming the Browns are destined to advance in the playoffs. That's kind of a crazy assumption to make. And that's now disrespecting every team in the NFC South. So what happens if the NFC South comes out here, who, by the way, will be hosting the playoff game? What happens if that NFC South team that's hosting the playoff game beats Cleveland? All this conversation ends. So I feel like the assumption that they're automatically going to do that for Cleveland, I've seen Browns fans automatically assume that. For you to just overwrite a team as if you're guaranteed to win a playoff game is kind of crazy. But, y'all do you. We'll see how the playoffs go. Either way, this isn't about the Browns. This isn't about any other team. This is about the Ravens. This is about the Ravens because we are in the exact same scenario that we were in 2019. We got the number one seed, clinched it, Lamar Jackson MVP season. You're heading into week 18 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you're trying to figure out if you should rest your starters or play them. Now, we'll have a discussion about that maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday. I don't know. I'll do another live stream about that. But we're in the exact same scenario. Only difference is we haven't seen what this team's going to do in the playoffs. 2019, they folded. 2023, it's yet to be seen. So I actually wanted to do a bit of a discussion today to specifically talk about the 2019 Ravens versus the 2023 Ravens and talk about the differences between those teams and why, if we look at the 2023 Ravens, we would be able to understand that they're much more prepared to handle the playoffs than that 2019 Ravens team. Not to mention, if we go bar for bar with these two teams in terms of which side is better, we can make the argument that one side definitely does get the edge here. So I just kind of wanted to go through that aspect, and we'll discuss that for the most part. So, yeah, like I said, 2019 season and 2023 season this year, they're eerily similar. They didn't have the same path, but in terms of how things went, but it's very weird how things kind of just fell into place. Lamar Jackson tipped off his MVP season in 2019 with a 5-touchdown performance. Only had, 3 incompletions, 5 touchdown passes, 324 yards against the Dolphins in 2019. And in most people's opinion, he's pretty much capped off his second MVP season with a 5-touchdown performance against the Dolphins, 3 incompletions, 321 passes. It's very weird how that's similar. Another thing that's similar is that the Ravens lost to the Browns in Baltimore. In 2019, the Ravens lost to the Cleveland Browns at home in Baltimore. They went to Cleveland and won in 2019. But in 2019 at home, they lost to the Cleveland Browns. In 2023, they went to Cleveland on the road, beat them, came home, lost to them. Another comparison between the 2019 Ravens and the 2023 Ravens. After that loss against the 2019 Browns, the Ravens would go on to win 12 straight regular season games. They did not lose a single regular season game after losing to Cleveland. The 2023 Ravens have yet to lose a football game since losing at home to the Browns. It's weird how eerily similar these two teams are. And having the exact same situation where, just like in 2019, you got the number 1 seed, week 16, not even week 16, but a week before the season ends, and now with the season finale, you got the Steelers to end the season before you go off into the playoffs. So many similarities. Did y'all sweep Pittsburgh in 2019? We actually did. So there is a difference, though. In 2019, when we went to Pittsburgh, we won that game. It was a nasty game, but we won it. In 2023, we lost to Pittsburgh this year. We lost to Pittsburgh in Heinz Field. It was a weird game. Guys couldn't catch the football, but we lost. And we'll see what happens this week. But we did sweep them in 2019. So there are some differences between 2019 and 2023. I'm not saying it's completely similar, but there were some similarities. So it's really funny and interesting when you see it that way. And of course, a lot of people are looking at 2019 and saying, well, you guys have been in the exact same situation. Are you going to, end off the season the way you did last time by losing in the divisional round? We hope not, but the situations there are very similar. However, I think this year there's been a major difference from the team and the fan perspective. I don't know, maybe some of y'all feel the same way, but from the fans' perspective, this year has felt a lot less. I think it's from the fan base perspective, it's probably been a lot more tame. We've been excited, we've been hyped, but it's been a lot more tame than in 2019. Because in 2019, we had never experienced this before. We've never had a season like we did in 2019. Number 1 offense, historical offense, magical MVP, your amazing performance by Lamar Jackson. You get the number 1 seed for the first time in franchise history, and you get to have the playoffs go through Baltimore. Us as a fan base, we had never experienced that before. The 2 rings we got, we had to go on the road in the playoffs. We've never had an opportunity to host, a playoff game in Baltimore, at least for the divisional round. Wild card game, sure, but division round matchups for the most part, we never really had those opportunities. We usually went on the road, which was unfortunate for the most part. So when 2019 happened, we were ecstatic. We were losing our minds. It was crazy. We were like, oh man, we going to Super Bowl guarantee. We won 12 straight. All this other excitement and stuff. We were losing our minds in 2019. In 2023, we've got the excitement. We definitely got the excitement and the hype about, our chances to go to the playoffs, but we're a lot more tame and a lot more cautious, and our mindset is, let's take it one step at a time. And I feel like the fan base's mindset is, let's take it one step at a time, because everything we experienced this year, we experienced in 2019, and we saw what happened in 2019, so we don't want 2023 to be the same case. That's why we're just trying to slowly take and say, hey, the team's mindset's taking one step at a time, we're going to do so the same. I think from a fan's perspective, we're a lot more tame than we were in 2019, because we understand the dangers of just being overly arrogant and just thinking we could just take anyone down. We understand our strengths and weaknesses, and we know that this team has to play at their best. This team has to play at their best if they want to get it done. So I think the mindset of the fan base has kind of shifted, especially because of what's happened over the last couple of years. 2020, getting to the division round, 3 points in the playoff game. Lamar gets knocked down the third quarter. 2021, injury galore, missed the playoffs. 2022, injuries, Lamar goes down, and then we get into a playoff game with Cincinnati and lose there because of whatever happens. It's unfortunate. It sucks. But, the last couple years going through that has put us in the position where we really look at this season as more of a season where we take it one step at a time to not be overly cocky and arrogant as a team and as a fan base. So I think that's one of the biggest differences here. From a team perspective, you can definitely see there's some differences. And we're going to go over it. Let me see some of your comments before we actually talk about the differences, because I actually have the roster. I have the rosters here in terms of, let's see, I have the rosters here. Probably going to have to pull this up here. Yeah, I got the rosters here in terms of the 2019 roster versus the, oh, really? The 2019 roster versus, oh, come on, really? I'm actually going to have to pull this up on a different screen. Okay, that's cool. We want to do that. That's fine. We want to do that. That's okay. I'll have to pull up on a different screen. But yeah, the 2019 roster and the 2023 roster, there's definitely a difference between the two there. And I'm going to go through it to talk about it and showcase some of the differences between this team and the 2019 team. But there's definitely some differences that you could see with them. And I feel like because of these differences, Baltimore this year could be seen as a team that's more so prepared for these moments. But we'll get into that as soon as I can pull this stuff up. I'm actually going to check some of these comments real quick. If I can actually, actually, let me see. Maybe I can, instead of this, let's do this. There you go. There you go. All right. Cool. Oh, come on, man. All right. So, yeah. No, take this nonsense off. Yeah. Just wanted to show things here in terms of the differences. I definitely do have the stats here, but we're going to hold off for a second before I actually get into that. I wanted to see some of your comments before we actually start getting into the differences between 2019 and the 2019 team and this team this year. So let's check some of these comments. Happy holiday, what's going on? Happy holidays to you as well, Josh. Happy holidays to you as well. I'm chill now. We're going to talk about this Ravens team. Chiefs are done. The Bills beat the Dolphins. Chiefs play the Dolphins wild card. Yeah, I don't write. I mean, if you want to write off your team, feel free to. I'm not writing off the Chiefs until I see them actually done. As long as Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid are there in Kansas City, I'm not writing them off until they get beat. What if the Ravens become one and done? Well, we're here to talk about that. So we'll see. We'll talk about the differences, and then we'll talk about what happens if they become one and done. Because there's a lot that will go into that aspect. It'd be a reunion of passing the crown to Lamar if he wins against Joe, I guess, but it is what it is. If the Browns and the Ravens meet in the playoffs, how are you going to feel going up against a quarterback who helped y'all get a ring and Lamar up against his mentor? First of all, Joe Flacco was not Lamar Jackson's mentor. That was RG3. So, I mean, there was some times where they talked. I'm sure he gave him some pointers, but Joe Flacco was not Lamar Jackson's mentor. That was RG3. Let's get that straight, first of all. So that's not his mentor. They rarely talked and communicated. There were some moments where they did talk and communicate, and we've seen some of the moments. And there were some times where Flacco gave Lamar advice. But Flacco was not Lamar's mentor. That was RG3. And again, I have no problem going up against Joe. It's not. I mean, it'll probably be a game we talk about. I mean, throughout the time, we'll be like, oh yeah, this is an emotional game. I guess for the fan base, it'll be emotional because this will be Joe Flacco's first time coming back to Baltimore since his time here as a Raven. So I guess it'll be an emotional game. But I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I'm focused on just winning the game. I don't care about who's on the other side. You got a real offense this time around that we haven't peaked too early. We'll talk about this because there are definitely some differences. And we beat Joe when he was a Jet. That's cool, but the Jets aren't the Browns. That Jets defense isn't as great as the Browns defense is this year. Would you like to see a Ravens versus Steelers playoff game? I don't care who the Ravens play against. I really don't. Just get the job done. I don't care who they play against. Browns, Steelers, Bills, Dolphins, Texans, Jaguars, Kansas. I don't care who they play. Like, I really don't. I don't care who's coming to Baltimore. Just get it done. At the end of the day, it's 2 wins to get to the Super Bowl because you've got the number 1 seed. It's 2 wins to get to the Super Bowl. I don't care who we face off against. Just get the job done. That's all that matters to me. I definitely think the biggest factor of this is all the maturity between 2019 and now. We're going to get into that. You make a great point, and that's where I'm going with this whole situation. Like Cowboys treating the wild card round like a bye week. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing that. Because, let me see. The Cowboys will get the 2 seed. I don't think the Packers will be the 7th seed. Yeah, I'm not going to try Green Bay because apparently Green Bay knows how to create Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And if you've watched Jordan Love play this year, when he's going up against some of the tougher competition, for some reason he seems to show up in some of these games. I'm not going to underestimate Green Bay. I'm going to tell you right now, if Jordan Love's the 7th seed and he's going to Dallas, he's going to get... There's no report cards that he needs. If Jordan Love is heading to Dallas for the wild card round, I'm going to tell you this right now. Jordan Love will graduate. Jordan Love will graduate the Green Bay quarterback classroom. He will graduate if he takes the mantle of the Aaron Rodgers tradition of going and beating Dallas. If that man goes on the road to to Dallas and wins like Aaron Rodgers was doing in the playoffs, oh bro, he graduates. That's your franchise quarterback for the future. You don't even need to debate that. He already looks like it, so I'm not saying he's not the franchise quarterback if he does that, but in terms of the culture of Green Bay, they constantly beat the Cowboys, especially in the playoffs. So if he ends up doing what Aaron Rodgers is usually doing in the playoffs, he goes to Dallas and beats them, oh, that's a different conversation. So you know what it is. But that's a different conversation. But yeah, don't just assume the Cowboys are going to, win the wild card game. You can't be making those assumptions. We have a vocal lead now in Roquan. Yeah, I'm going to get into that. I feel like in 2019, we didn't have the support cast on wide receivers, and Lamar was using his legs. But in 2023, Lamar is looking to throw now, and that he has wide receivers in his leg. Yeah, we'll get into that, too. There's a lot that we're going to get into with this. Jags choked away their season just like the Dolphins did last year. Not really surprised. The minute Trevor Lawrence got hurt, it was a different conversation. Fans love saying we're contenders, but we'll be scared of teams like the Texans. I guess. I don't know. I don't think you should be scared of any team at this point. It's the playoffs. If you're scared of a team, that's the quickest way to go home. Ravens will probably say once we beat the Browns, we knew we're going to... No, that's not something you should say. That's not even the mindset the Ravens have carried with them this year. So they won't be saying things like that. You think the Rams are capable of getting back to the Super Bowl? Yeah. Yeah, they've got a Super Bowl pedigree. You've won a championship with that unit. They match up well against a team like the Niners. I think if the Rams are going in somewhat hot, if they get into the playoffs, which I think they already clinched a playoff spot. That first game is going to be very interesting. I would not be surprised if the Rams go on a run. I think they're the biggest, in my opinion, they're the biggest threat to the to the Niners. The Rams are the biggest threat to the Niners. I'm standing by that statement, so I would not be surprised. What's going on, Darth? The only team we should be concerned about is ourselves. We have the talent and the mindset to go all the way. At this point, it's Super Bowl or bust. Absolutely. Absolutely. At this point, it's Super Bowl or bust. We have all the talent in the world to be able to get it done. At the end of the day, if the Ravens aren't in the Super Bowl, it's because the Ravens didn't do their job. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. We don't need to talk about anybody else. We don't need to go into, this team, there's the big threat and stuff like that. Every team that comes into that bank in the playoffs, you better respect them and treat them like a fierce competitor and go at them with everything you have. Full force offensively and defensively. Do not overlook your opponent because, we're the number one defense and this, and that. Do not set yourself up for failure. That's the number one thing you shouldn't look to do. Do not set yourself up for failure. It's just as simple as that. Do not set yourself up for failure. At the end of the day, handle your business the way you're supposed to handle your business. That's really all that needs to be said. At the end of the day, handle your business, get it done when you need to, and we'll just go from there. But it is what it is. When you look at it, when you look at the situation like that. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Like I said, me personally, I'm not going to be sitting back and overlooking anybody for the most part. And I don't think the Ravens are looking to do that either. So hopefully everybody does keep that level of mindset. I don't know if they're going to, but hopefully everybody keeps that level of mindset. And we just go from there. You know, it's I really don't need to say these things because the Ravens have emphasized this a million times. I know for sure Lamar's been emphasizing it. Roquan Smith's been emphasizing it. The team has been emphasizing it. So I don't think this aspect of me having to say let's not overlook a team. I know for sure they're not going to look to do that. With the way they've lost in playoff games, they shouldn't have lost. They're not going to be overlooking anybody. Honestly, I just don't see that being the case. But we'll have to wait and see for the most part. Either way, I'm going to get into the aspect of some of the differences you could see. We'll go over roster description and some of the differences between 2019 and this year. So let me see if I can pull this up. I actually have the roster here. So I have the roster here for the 2019 team. So obviously you got the roster here for the 2019 Ravens, and then right here we've got the roster for the 2023 team. From a personnel standpoint, there's definitely differences. And I think I actually saw, I don't know who put this out there. I'm going to have to look it up. Shout out to him. But someone actually was making a debate and an argument that the 2023 team would run laps or just smoke the 2019 team. I wouldn't fully say that, but in terms of which team is better, I feel like an argument can be made for both sides, but I think at the end of the day, we'll have an understanding of who's a better team if we actually break it down from a roster perspective. So if we take a look at the 2019 team, you take a look at the offense for let's start with the defense, in fact, because both defenses in 2019 and the defense we have this year have been great. The 2019 defense, I got to say this, guys. The 2019 defense has been overshadowed. They took a huge blow because of what happened in the divisional round. The way we view the 2019 Ravens defense is a whole lot worse than they actually were because of how badly they got embarrassed by Derrick Henry and the Titans. The 2019 Ravens defense was a top 10 defense. They were absolutely a top 10 defense. They were a top 10 defense. They were able to get to the quarterback, not consistently, but they were able to get to the quarterback. We were getting turnovers. Marcus Peters was just getting to the ball the entire time he was here since we traded him from that Seattle game moving forward. The Ravens defense in 2019 was elite. It was a top 10 defense. And everyone felt comfortable that with a defense like this, we could get it done. Now, I will say this. The 2019 defense wasn't seen as great as the 2018 defense because the 2018 defense was the number one defense in the league that year. Go look at the numbers. Which is why people thought, hey, they have a chance to go on a run, even with a rookie quarterback in Lamar Jackson. But the 2019 defense was a top 10 defense. They were really great. They were great. They were great in pass coverage. Weren't the best in stopping the run, as we found out. But they were great in pass coverage. They did get to the quarterback, and they were able to force turnovers. However, due to what happened in the playoff game, the Ravens 2019 defense is seen in a worse light because of how badly they played. If you look at it from a roster standpoint, you can actually see how some of this went. So we're going to make a comparison between the 2019 defense and the 2023 defense. We're going to go make a comparison between the defenses, offenses, special teams, and then we'll talk about our offensive coordinator and our defensive coordinator, and we'll come to a conclusion as to which team is better from a roster standpoint, and then we'll just go from there. So if you take a look at the 2019 Ravens defense, man, Trace Pistoli was really on this team at the time. That was fun. DeAnthony Thomas was on this team at the time. He was probably one of the guys that was either an extra piece or in the practice squad. But you look at the defense. Let's start with the secondary. Comparing the secondary in 2019 to the secondary we have here. So our main guys pretty much from corner, obviously we know our main guys, obviously it says Brandon Carr here, but our main guys in the cornerback position, Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters. Their backups, you looked at Jimmy Smith, you looked at Brandon Carr. That basically was your main guys from the cornerback position in 2019. That was your main guys for the most part. From that point. Obviously you did have some of these other guys here. Anthony Averett was still on this team at the time. How many of y'all remember Iman Marshall? You did have some pieces, but honestly, our depth from the cornerback room in 2019 wasn't the best. Our 2019 cornerback room depth was not the best. We really over-relied on Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters to just carry the load in the cornerback room. And thank God both those guys were able to stay healthy. Because the secondary, that cornerback room wasn't the best. But yeah, Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey, Jimmy Smith, Brandon Carr. Then you look at the safety position, and you'll see our safeties for the most part, it was 3 guys. Earl Thomas, Chuck Clark, and Tony Jefferson, who would be right around here. Yeah, Chuck Clark, Earl Thomas, Tony Jefferson. I believe we also may have had Deshaun Elliott at this time. No, we did not. Okay, that might have been a different year. But yeah, your main safety unit was those 3. Earl Thomas, Chuck Clark, and Tony Jefferson. So you basically had a secondary of 2019 Marlon Humphrey, 2019 Marcus Peters, Brandon Carr, Jimmy Smith, with a safety unit of Earl Thomas, Chuck Clark, and Tony Jefferson. If we were to compare that to what we have now in 2023, you still have Marlon Humphrey there. Now, of course, Marlon Humphrey now isn't the same as 2019 Marlon Humphrey. We could definitely sit back and say that. However, Marlon Humphrey in 2023, since Lamar told him to play better, he is returning to form. So Marlon Humphrey is still playing at a high level, though I guess 2019 Marlon Humphrey will take the advantage there. But yeah, you look at this room here, your cornerbacks, Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stephens. Obviously, I think 2019 Marlon Humphrey will take advantage over 2023 Marlon Humphrey. But Brandon Stephens versus Marcus Peters, that's an interesting conversation. Marcus Peters gets the edge because he was a ball hawk that was able to get turnovers, and he got a couple pick sixes when he was with us. So he was a ball hawk that could do that. But in terms of coverage, he was not great. He made some plays here and there. The biggest play, he made that 4th down play in Buffalo to make the stop and help us win the game. He made that stop right there. But this dude was never great in coverage. Even when he was at his best in 2019, he was not great in coverage, and he couldn't tackle to save his life. Meanwhile, Brandon Stephens isn't a ball hawk that Marcus Peters was in 2019, but Brandon Stephens has been a lockdown corner. Go take a look at the numbers. They've tested him throughout the season. He has been a lockdown corner. Someone go look this up, because I would have to change up this whole thing. I don't know if anyone has the numbers on it, but how many touchdowns has Brandon Stephens given up this year? How many touchdowns has Brandon Stephens given up this year? I would actually like to know. Because Brandon Stephens has been a lockdown corner. And at times, he has played better as a corner than Marlon Humphrey throughout the season. So you've got Marlon Humphrey, you've got Brandon Stephens, you've got Anthony Millette, you've got Ronald Darby, you got Rock Ya-Sin. Those 5 guys have consistently played throughout the season. Brandon Stephens has been a lockdown corner. Marlon Humphrey's returned to form. Anthony Millette has been one of the more underrated signings. He's been a great guy for us. He's had maybe 1 or 2 bad games, but he's been a great corner for us. He's made a lot of plays this season. Ronald Darby has been really great as another depth piece for us. The only one you would look at and say, kind of questionable, Rock Ya-Sin. He's been solid, but he's also made some mistakes here and there. So I look at this, you have Brandon Stephens, Marlon Humphrey, Anthony Millette, and Ronald Darby, and Rock Ya-Sin. So you have more depth there. And then we got to talk about the safety room. I don't think this is fair. Kyle Hamilton is the best safety we've had since Ed Reed. I don't think that needs to be a discussion. That man is playing multiple positions, and he's looking like a ball hawk, and he's shutting down everybody. Right now, Kyle Hamilton is probably viewed as the best safety in football. Without a doubt. Marcus Williams, even though dealing with an injury, he's been relatively solid, but Geno Stone has played better than him, we know that. Marcus Williams has still been great. And Geno Stone has 7 picks. He's going to be a Pro Bowler this year without a question. Geno Stone has been a ball hawk of a safety. And Worley, whenever he has played, he's been solid. So if I'm going to compare this cornerback room of Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stephens, Anthony Millette, Ronald Darby, Rock Ya-Sin, Kyle Hamilton, Marcus Williams, and Geno Stone to the 2019 secondary, it's not an argument. It's not an argument. It's not an argument. It's not. This one wins without ease. Like without any issues, without any force, without any controversy. The 2023 secondary is not only better than 2019, it has a lot more depth. And we saw the depth play out against the Dolphins because Brandon Stevens wasn't there, Kyle Hamilton wasn't there, and Marlon Humphrey got knocked out the game. So guess who had to stick in? Geno Stone had to come in for Kyle Hamilton. Ronald Darby had to play. Anthony Millette actually, I don't know if Anthony Millette was playing. Maybe Rocky Sin. No, Rocky Sin was playing. We had our guys come out there from the depth position, and they actually showed up and made stops. Do you know how many times over the years we talked about our secondary and our quarterback room not having the depth, and those guys that came out were not doing their job? We don't have that problem this year. So automatically you know the 2023 secondary is better than 2019's. Then we get to the linebacking. Do we have to do this? I think we have a better conversation for the offense and the defense. Do we really have to go into the linebacking core? Your main guys in the linebacking core, Josh Bynes and RJ Fort. That was your line. Josh Bynes and LJ Fort were your linebacking duo in 2019. Josh Bynes and LJ Fort was your linebacking duo in 2019. Is there a comparison to actually make? Do I actually have to do this? I don't think I actually have to. Is there any sort of debate? Now, I'll say this. In 2019, LJ Fort was amazing for us, man. LJ Fort was making plays left and right. He wasn't in his prime, but LJ Fort was making plays left and right. Shout out to LJ Fort. He was playing great. Josh Bynes, shout out to him. LJ Fort and Josh Bynes, they were playing amazing in 2019. They were. Shout out to them. I think they're very underrated in what they were able to do in 2019. So that linebacking duo is really good. But you want me to sit here and make a comparison from the 2019 linebacking duo compared to what we have now. So LJ Fort and Josh Bynes. LJ Fort and Josh Bynes versus Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. It's not a conversation. It's not a conversation, man. It's not a conversation. It's not a conversation. That we don't even have to talk about. Like, I'm serious. I'm being serious. From a linebacking perspective, it's not even fair. And I don't even want to put it in a scenario where I'm like taking away from what Josh Bynes and LJ Fort did. Because they were great. They were amazing. Shout out to my man Raven C. What's going on, man? You are exactly right. It's not even close. They were amazing. But Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen are the best linebacking duo in football. If you want to make the argument for that linebacking duo in San Francisco, feel free to. But dog, I'm not going to compare LJ Fort and Josh Bynes to Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith. Obviously, you know who wins. I'm going to end the debate right there. I'm not trying to get into it. I'm going to end the debate right there. It don't matter who you had. Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith is smoking. Everybody else in that dude. Let's stop. Let's stop. Obviously, the advantage goes to the 2023 Ravens there. Then you kind of get into the aspect of the pass rush. For the most part, I think you looked that year for the most part, and you do see some interesting things here for the most part in 2019. Funny enough, Michael Pierce is still on the team. And he's actually playing better this year than he did then. Obviously, he was younger back then, so he's improved. But yeah, Brandon Williams, Michael Pierce, Chris Wormley, Jalen Ferguson, R.I.P. Tragic what happened to him. You get Matthew Judon, who was the guy. And yeah, you look at that front seven where you're looking at it with there's also some other guys. Let me definitely got to be sure to bring up. Can't forget some other than Judon. Yeah. Oh yeah, we did have Patrick Owasu, Pernell McPhee coming off, the veteran. Playing on that 2019 team. Yeah, you look at the pass rush in 2019, I still think it was solid, but it was led. It was solid. It was absolutely solid. It was great. And you were having a fantastic year. you were having a fantastic year from, let me see, from Matthew Judon. You know, you look at this. Yeah, you look at the line. You get Brandon Williams. You get Michael Pierce, Wormley, Michael Pierce, a younger Michael Pierce, still trying to figure it out. Wormley, Ferguson, and then you look at other additions there where you come down and you see. Oh yeah, Jihad Ward was here. Tim Williams, we never played him like that. Jihad Ward was here. You get Pernell McPhee, Patrick Owasu, and stuff. You just look at what they have here. You know, the guy that was leading the way is obviously was Matthew Judon, 9.5 sacks that year. So the front seven itself, they weren't actually a great pass rushing unit. Were they able to get to the quarterback? Yeah, they were able to get to the quarterback. They were completely able to get to the quarterback, but it wasn't as consistent as you wanted it to. So we're gonna compare those guys to 2023. If we're going to compare those guys to what we have here in 2023, oh my God. Let me see if I can pull up some of the numbers here. Because Matthew Judon was the best guy we had here. Let me see if I actually can pull up some of the stats here. Matthew Judon was the best pass rusher we had, and he had 9.5 sacks. He was leading everybody on this defense with 9.5 sacks. If we were to take a look at his pass rushing unit, oh God, Justin Matabike is leading with 13. Clowney has 8.5. Where is he? Kyle Van Noy has 8. Dog, this is not right. This is not right. Oh my God, this is not right. This is not right. You know what? Concede that the 2023 defense wins. It clears. This defense is the number one scoring defense in the NFL. They lead the league in sacks and they lead the league in turnovers. This is not fair. Like I said, Matthew Judon was leading the way with 9.5 sacks. Justin Matabike's got 13. Justin Matabike's got 13. Kyle Van Noy has 8, and yet he played 12 games. You're right. He played 12 games. He has 8 sacks in 12 games. Clowney has 8.5 sacks on the season. Let's just stop. 2023 defense wins. They clear. So if we're going to do 2019 defense versus 2023 defense, without a doubt, they clear, bro. It's not even close from a roster perspective. It's not even close. Now, let's see what happens when we look at the offense. Because from an offense perspective, I think it does get interesting. Let's take a look at the 2019 offense. So we're going to hold off on... Actually, no. I think we can get this out the way. I don't think this needs to be a debate. I was going to hold off of it first from the offensive side, but there's not a debate. 2019 Lamar versus 2023 Lamar. I don't think this is a conversation. It's going to be 2023 Lamar. Does anybody actually have any reason to pick 2019 Lamar versus 2023 Lamar? If we're going to speak about this in terms of 2019 Lamar as a quarterback or 2023 Lamar as a quarterback, I don't think this needs to be a discussion. 2019 Lamar has all the stats. I mean, that guy, 2019 Lamar, that guy was pulling off spin moves in Cincinnati. That's what 19 Lamar is. 19 Lamar is a beast. 19 Lamar is a beast. He is a beast of a football player. Man was just out there doing his thing. Oh my goodness. But I don't think this needs to be an actual discussion about who was better. In my opinion, I don't think it needs to be a discussion for the most part. I personally sit back and say it is 2023. 19 scored more? Absolutely. 19 scored more because we relied on 19 to score more. The offense was built around his legs, not his arm. So we relied on him, bro. 19 Lamar was a complete beast of a player. Beast of a player. But 2023 Lamar is not only the better quarterback, he's the more versatile quarterback. 2023 Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback than 2019 Lamar Jackson. He's also more versatile than 19 Lamar Jackson. 19 Lamar Jackson was spectacular, man. We had not seen a show like that since the Michael Vick experience, and even in my opinion, it surpassed the Michael Vick experience because Michael Vick never had a season like that. Never had a season like that. I mean, this is a guy that broke Michael Vick's rushing record and led the league in touchdown passes at the same time. I mean, we were just cooking everybody in our way. We were. Absolutely. So 2019 Lamar definitely gets a lot of praise for that. But dog, I've watched 2023 Lamar. There's not a lot of weaknesses in this game right now. There is not. From the quarterback position, there is not a lot of weaknesses in Lamar's game right now. Like it's not even. I'm serious. First of all, when you look at 2023 Lamar, in terms of throwing the football with velocity, we've all talked about over the last couple years Lamar Jackson throwing the football with velocity. We have seen the difference in the improvements he's made of that. We have seen the difference in the improvement he's made of that from that standpoint. No question, he's throwing the ball with much more velocity. Much more velocity. But not only that, just watching Lamar Jackson, his footwork, his mechanics, his ability to work within the pocket, his pocket presence. What we've seen from Lamar Jackson this year in comparison to 2019, we've seen a much more improved quarterback. No question. 2019 was a spectacular player, historical season. But 2023 Lamar doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. He doesn't. He doesn't. There are also some differences between 2019 Lamar and 2023 Lamar. Let me see here. I'm actually going to go back to my screen real quick. There's some differences. You know what I mean. Yeah. Let me pull this up. There's some differences that I want to. There's a major difference I want to point out. Interesting how you choose to continue to act this way. What's going on, Skeezel? Appreciate you stopping by. Oh, wait. That's not even what I'm supposed to be doing this. Let me, how do you... I just need the image. I know what I'm looking for. I know what I'm looking for. Can I get a... Let me see. There's some differences. I'm trying to pull it up too. I know where I gotta go for this. I know where I absolutely gotta go for this. Okay. Know what I'm looking for here. Okay. That right there. And then, that right there. And then this. It's a lot of setting up. All right. Sorry, I'm just setting up to show the biggest difference between 2019 Lamar and 2023 Lamar. This might actually be one of the things I... Let me see. It's gotta be here somewhere. Oh, look at all these, like... There we go. Okay. Alright. Alright, I got it. So, let's get back here. Alright, guys. So, obviously, we were having this conversation about Lamar Jackson, 2019 Lamar versus 2023 Lamar. And we talked about Lamar Jackson being a better quarterback in 2023 than what he was in 2019. Being a much more versatile quarterback, from his footwork to his mechanics to the way he's throwing the football with velocity to his pocket presence to his ability to work within the pocket and be effective outside the pocket. What he's done as a passer this year has far surpassed what he was in 2019. We've seen the improvements. But there's another element to Lamar Jackson. There's another element to this Lamar Jackson debate, and a key difference between 2019 Lamar and 2023 Lamar. Let me see if I can pull it up right here. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is 2019 Lamar. I had to go to Twitter to look for this tweet. But this is 2019 Lamar. Without question, this is 2019 Lamar. What's going on, Deron? Happy New Year to you as well. Without question, this is 2019 Lamar, ladies and gentlemen. This is 2019 Lamar. Just vibing, just chilling, just cooling. Out here destroying teams, and he's just chilling. Let's not talk about the fact that he did that against an 0-8 Cincinnati team. But yeah, this is 2019 Lamar Jackson. This is legit 2019 Lamar Jackson. If there's one aspect to describe him, it's this. This is 2019 Lamar Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. No question. Now, that's 2019 Lamar Jackson. This is 2023 Lamar Jackson. You noticing a difference right here, right? We showed you 2019 Lamar Jackson. This is 2023 Lamar Jackson. You notice the difference? Anyone know there's a difference between 2019 Lamar Jackson and 2023 Lamar Jackson? This was an image that was shown right after the 75-yard touchdown that Lamar hit to Zay Flowers. So, 2019 Lamar Jackson, 2023 Lamar Jackson. You can clearly tell there's a difference. More mature, more locked in, way more mature, yet vibe Lamar versus kill Lamar. Let me tell you that look right here. I've been saying this all week. That look right there by Lamar Jackson, that is that 06 Peyton Manning look. Everything's on the line, bro. He is insanely locked in, bro. That is that 06 Peyton Manning look. I've seen this look before. That is that 06 Peyton Manning look. This is the look of a man that is beyond locked in. This is the look of a man that is desperate to win a championship and will do whatever it takes to win. That man just threw a 75-yard touchdown with ease. Walked back. Everybody else is talking. Lamar is sitting down. Dead focus. Locked in. I was too young to see that look from Peyton Manning. Bro, if you were around in 06, bro, if you understand... let me see if I can pull that up too. I might want to pull that up too. But yeah, this is 2023 Lamar right there. It's not even a competition, guys. we've already heard the stories about Lamar Jackson being much more of a vocal leader. Him telling the team, locked in, locked in, locked in, locked in. We got to stay locked in. Got to take it one game at a time. We got to make it to February. Everybody on the team is speaking about the things Lamar is doing that's different from previous years and how much of a vocal leader he has been this year. It's a complete difference, bro. It's a complete difference. It's a complete difference. It's a complete difference. Yeah, that might be that might man, it's so difficult to find that. But yeah, I think there's a clear difference. You can definitely tell, no question, there is a clear difference between 2019 Lamar and 2023 Lamar. And I think that's the biggest difference that you can tell by a mile. Oh my God, it'll take me forever to find it. One picture to use, but might be this one. Might be this one. You know what I mean? It'll take way too long to find this. Either way, you can tell there's a visible difference between Lamar Jackson this year compared to Lamar Jackson in 2019. Just the vibes that's surrounding Lamar this year compared to, it might be this image. It might be this image. It would take 12 years to find this, wouldn't it? But yeah, I'm not going to hold it up much longer. It'll probably take 12 years. See, that was so long ago. You found it? If you can find that image, man. Like, legit. Okay. All right, let me see if I can do that as well. Let me see. Up. There it is. All right. Yep. There it is. Thank you. I appreciate that. Rez, no. I got one. I'm saying it don't have to even be 06. Just the Peyton Manning look. I found it. So like I said, let me go back to the screen. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Lamar Jackson. 2023 Lamar Jackson. When I say this man got that Peyton Manning look where he's locked in, I'm not even going to use one from the game because this is, I'll have to look for a bunch, but he's got that Peyton Manning look. And if you think I'm joking, I just think I'm just joking. You telling me that's not the same look? You telling me that's not the same look? That is a man chasing greatness. That is a man chasing a chair. You're telling me that's not the same look. You telling me that's not the same look. That's not the same look. That's not the same. Look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. Look how locked in. Look how locked in you gotta be. Nah. 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 Listen, that is the look of a man that is not only locked in, that is the look of a man that is desperate to win a championship. That is a man whose eyes are strictly on the Lombardi trophy. Nah. I've seen Peyton Manning's look. I've seen that look throughout the 2000s when Peyton Manning was winning MVPs but losing in the playoffs in embarrassing fashion. And the way the media was cooking him up, talking about he's one of the biggest playoff chokers in NFL history. Nah, I've seen that look before. And that's when I noticed that, I'm like, oh, this man locked in. Oh, I've seen that face on Brady all the time. I've seen that face on Brady all the time. Listen, we don't even have to talk. We've seen that face on Brady all the time. But Brady, again, he's won championships early on, so I've never sat back and talked about using Brady in that situation. Every all-time great at some point has had this look on their face. Thoughts on the Super Bowl logo color curse? I don't think it would be a curse for us, because technically the Super Bowl, I think they showed it, it's red and purple, and the one at the bottom wins, so technically that means Baltimore's going to win the Super Bowl, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I've seen this look before. That right there is all I need to show you. The biggest difference. 2019 Lamar. 2023 Lamar. Hell, we got another picture right here. 2019 Lamar. 2023 Lamar. I don't think this needs to be a conversation as to the difference between Lamar in 2019 and Lamar in 2023. All right, this will be the Ravens' last chance at winning a Super Bowl. No, it won't. As long as you got that guy as your quarterback and you continue to build the team the way you have, it's not going to be the last chance at winning a Super Bowl. If you want to see this is their best chance right now, or the perfect time for them to win a Super Bowl, absolutely, by all means. But it's not going to be their last chance. It's not. The Ravens have a habit of choking and penalty prone. What? You mean injury prone? They have a habit of choking and being injury prone. I guess that's what you're speaking of. Yeah, if injuries happen again, they'll kill the team. But they've always had the talent to compete. And have a habit of choking, that's something they've kind of developed over the last couple years. But they've, again, a decade ago, they did not have a habit of choking. They had a habit of showing up in the biggest games. There's a reason. We could have been 4-0 in Foxborough. If Lee Evans doesn't drop the freaking ball and our defense doesn't blow 2 14-point leads, absolutely we could have been 4-0. But even besides that happening, we've gone to Foxborough on multiple occasions and won. We've been, again, from 2008 to 2012, 3 AFC Championship appearances, 1 Super Bowl, 9 playoff wins. So no, we did not have a habit of choking a decade ago. It's something we've developed, which is something we have to get away from. But no, we don't have a habit of that. We don't. We really don't. And no, this will not be the last time the Ravens will be able to compete for a Super Bowl or be able to win a Super Bowl. So, no. I watched the Heat. The Heat are basically what I think they're going to be. It's the regular season. As long as they're healthy going into the playoffs, they'll be fine. They do have to figure out how they're going to play in the fourth quarter because it's the opposite of last year. Last year, they couldn't play well in the first 3 quarters, and they played spectacular in the fourth quarter. This year, they're not. They're playing great in the first 3 quarters, and then in the fourth quarter, they're one of the worst, if not the worst team in the NBA in the fourth quarter.
I don't know. When do you sub everybody out? That's the thing. Everybody.
So, that's pretty much how it is. But, yeah, there's your biggest difference between 2019 and 2023. Lamar Jackson. Thoughts on Jaime Jaquez? He's not a rookie. He don't play like a rookie. He don't act like a rookie. He's the 3rd best guy out of this draft. Wemby, Chet, Jaime. That's it. All right. Lamar will hold up the Lombardi at Las Vegas and he'll look spectacular. That's the hope, and that's what he's chasing after. Looks like he was having fun in 2019 with the shades, but now he looks all in and focused. Absolutely. It's 2 different vibes. Not saying that 2019 Lamar Jackson wasn't trying to win a Super Bowl. Absolutely he was. And that was his focus. He was constantly talking about winning a Super Bowl. But I think it's just the mentality. The one thing that's just very weird that we have to get used to is that Lamar Jackson is not a young man anymore. He's not a kid anymore. Lamar Jackson's a veteran in the NFL. This is year 6 for him. And he's about to win his second MVP. This is not second year Lamar Jackson, first year as a starter, young in this league. This is a veteran quarterback. Like, where's the time gone? Like, we really have to understand. So the mentality he had in 2019, it was a great year. He was vibing. Bro, this Lamar Jackson in 2023 is a veteran. He's trying to win a ring. What's going on, agent? What's going on? He's trying to win a ring. It's 2 different phases, man. It's 2 different phases. Lamar didn't even smile when the reporter showed him the AFC best. He didn't care about that crap. That don't mean nothing to him. Nah, that don't mean nothing to him, bro. He trying to win a ring. He not focused on none of that. If Evans caught that pass, we wouldn't have won the Super Bowl in 2012. I agree with you, because they wouldn't have the motivation to get back there. And Ray Lewis's last ride wouldn't have happened the way it did. Also, I don't even think we have Justin Tucker, because I don't see them just letting go of Billy Cundiff, because there would be no reason to. He didn't blow it for you with the field goal. He's still having fun now, but he's grown. Yeah, I mean, he's still having fun. We know, we've seen it. It's not like he's just walking around grumpy and not smiling. He's definitely having fun, but you can tell he's locked in. You can tell he's locked in. This offense can carry the load when the defense can't, and the defense can do the same for the offense. This one is well-rounded, better than 19. Absolutely. But we'll talk about the offensive side. I just wanted to get on the quarterback side. We're going to get into that. Give MVP to Purdy so Lamar can play better. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. This isn't going to be no, what's it called? Who got it? This isn't going to be a Karl Malone, Michael Jordan type moment where they gave it, or Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan moment where they gave the MVP to Barkley and Jordan's like, okay, that's cool. You can have that. I'll take the championship. It's not that, because the MVP doesn't happen until the week of the Super Bowl, where they end up doing the ceremony 2 days before the Super Bowl, something like that, or that very week before the Super Bowl. That the MVP was getting handed out before the playoff starts, absolutely, but it has no effect. So by the time the MVP happens, if he's not in the Super Bowl, he'll probably be collecting it there if they were to give it to him. Even giving it to Purdy doesn't exactly do anything, because Lamar doesn't care about the MVP trophy. John Morant just dunked over Wemby. John Morant, he's been trying to do that over everybody. That's not a surprise. Great highlight though, but he's been trying to do that over everybody, and he's done it in half the time, so it's not a surprise. Lamar didn't even smile. Yeah, he wasn't really looking to smile in that situation. Lamar is on year 6. That's crazy. And he's 26 too. He's one of the youngest quarterbacks in the game for a guy that's played 6 years. Lamar knows you're measured by Super Bowls, even though Dan Marino didn't. Yeah, you're measured by Super Bowls, and Dan Marino didn't win a Super Bowl. He's still a Hall of Famer. He's still one of the greatest throwers of the football. But legacies are defined by guys who've won championships in some of the cases too. And when you look at it, they all look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers kind of just took over the spot of where Dan Marino was at, because Aaron Rodgers is just as good throwing the football as Dan Marino ever was, but Aaron Rodgers got that ring. In my opinion, the 2023 team is more experienced and better than 2019. I agree. Do you think Lamar was 32 in the draft, but he's playing like he should have been number 1? I'm glad he wasn't number 1. I don't want this guy in Cleveland. Especially because Cleveland's been doing the right things over the last couple years. Can you imagine him with that defense? Nah, I don't want to see that. We would be cooked. Ravens got a lot of dogs on this team. They're not going to let nobody bully them. We hope so. Also, Todd Monken is better than Greg Roman. Well, we'll get to that. Yeah, Lamar is younger than Burrow. And yeah, Burrow's older than him. Yeah, and his birthday's coming up soon, so he's about to be 27. Oh, if they had if Baltimore had the number 1 pick that year, well, I mean, yeah, if they had the number 1 pick, he'd obviously go to Baltimore, but Baltimore wouldn't have the number 1 pick. We weren't that bad in 2017. The Browns could have Saquon and Lamar. That would have been, oh my God, we would have conceded, bro. We would have conceded at that time. That would have been nuts. Oh my God. I wouldn't have been able to take that. We'd be losing to Cleveland every year. It'd be dark times. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to get back to what I was talking about the whole roster, because we went on a whole Lamar Jackson thing because we had to. But yeah, just to reiterate, 2019 Lamar, 2023 Lamar. There's a quick difference. And anyone didn't see it when I was talking about he has that Peyton Manning look. He has that Peyton Manning look, bro. He has that Peyton Manning look. Lamar's locked in, dog. Lamar's locked in. Give me 2023 Lamar over 2019 Lamar. Straight up. But despite, Lamar Jackson, there were other guys on this roster that we do have to talk about. Let's start with the backs, because I feel like we've been all on the aspect of, the 2019 to 2023. The 2023 defense took it. They won. I tried to make it a competition. From the secondary to the linebacking core to 2023 from top to bottom, that roster defensively is just better. Lamar Jackson will take him here in 2023 over 2019. Now you got to start looking at some of these other stuff. You look at the running back room in this situation. Patrick Ricard is still being here. We're not going to... Patrick Ricard does not sway anything because Patrick Ricard is Patrick Ricard. He's been a beast since he's been here. He's good. So there's no, 2019 is better than 20... No, he's been a beast since day one. He's a beast to this day. Patrick Ricard gets the slide. But when you look at the running back room, Mark Ingram, Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, versus this year where it's Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, and Melvin Gordon right now. Now, see, here's the thing. The 2023 running back room initially would have won this. I mean, seeing what Keaton Mitchell's capable of, you get J.K. Dobbins, Keaton Mitchell, and Gus Edwards smokes Mark Ingram's Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. It does. And guess what? You can have number 4. Number 4 could be Justice Hill. So this year, J.K. Dobbins, Keaton Mitchell, Gus Edwards, and Justice Hill. 2023 would have been smoking that running back room from 2019. But here's the problem. Keaton Mitchell's gone. And J.K. Dobbins has been gone since week 1. I cannot utilize those. So now we have to go with Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, and Melvin Gordon. And if we're going based off of that, I'm going to give the dub to 2019. Now, I will say this, though. Justice Hill now, compared to what he was in the rookie, before we get back to that, I really thought about that for a second. Let's cut it here. Shout out to Justice Hill. Okay? I didn't know what Justice Hill was going to be. I really didn't know. They drafted him like, okay, he could be someone that we utilize, right? He's got some nice speed. He can make some plays. Maybe they're going to utilize him in the run back room. And he just wasn't getting utilized. And when he was out there, he wasn't making an impact when he first got here. And they just delegated him to special teams. So it really just felt like Justice Hill was never going to be able to showcase his talents, or he was never going to be able to get to that level. Justice Hill, what he's been able to do this season, I didn't expect this level of production from Justice Hill. I didn't expect him to be this good. He's taken massive jumps and improvements. Early on, they had a fumbling issue between him and Lamar. They just couldn't get it together with the handoffs. But since then, they early on it was a problem. They fixed the issue. That's another good thing. The 2023 team, when there's an issue, they address it, they fix it, and it's not a problem anymore. But since they fixed that issue, Justice Hill has been just killing it. He's been amazing. He's been amazing as an extra receiver for Lamar Jackson. We saw it on Sunday. And he's been great running the football. I didn't expect us to ever get to this point with Justice Hill. So shout out to him. He's obviously better than 2019 Justice Hill that was doing what for you? It was his rookie year. But yeah, I guess Justice Hill gets the edge there. Then you compare Mark Ingram to Gus Edwards. I'll say Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram was killing it in 2019. He gets the edge. And then Melvin Gordon's giving you nothing versus Justice Hill. He was doing something in special teams. Yeah, 2019, that running game was just insane. So the 2019 running back room automatically wins. The 2019 running back room automatically wins. So now we get the first dub for the first dub for 2019. They win in the running back room argument. Next up's an easy dub. Next up's the easy dub. I don't even have to waste time. 2019 offensive line, you win. 2019 offensive line, you win. You win. I get prime Ronnie Stanley instead of 2023 Ronnie Stanley, you win. I get prime Ronnie Stanley. I'm getting Marshall Yonda, Orlando Brown Jr. when he was actually playing well. Nah. 2019 you win. I'm not even sitting here wasting my time with a debate for the offensive line. 2019 offensive line versus 2023's offensive line. Just hand the crown to 2019 and let's just move on, bro. Okay? You legit had this man, Ronnie Stanley, in his prime. 2019 Ronnie Stanley, oh my God. You had an actual debate. 2019 Stanley. 2019 Ronnie Stanley actually at us. He was performing at such a high level. We actually had debates. Who was? I'm not joking. There was some debates. There was some conversations. Not much conversations happened about offensive linemen. But 2019 Ronnie Stanley was playing at such a high all-pro level. We had a legit conversation about who was a better left tackle. Ronnie Stanley or Trent Williams. And then I still get to have Yonda. No, 2019 offensive line wins. It's unfortunate that all these injuries has screwed Ronnie Stanley. But he has been playing well over the last couple weeks. Shout out to him. We hope he can play like that come playoff time, man. Oh, man. 2019 offensive line wins. We don't have to waste time with that. So that's 2 dubs for them. They get the running back room and the offensive line. So the offense kind of does lean towards them in some cases, but we cannot take away the aspect of the passing attack. So, let's discuss this receiving core. Let's get the easy one out the way. 2019, you had 3 tight ends. Your 3 tight ends set, Hayden Hurst, Nick Boyle, Mark Andrews. Year 2 Mark Andrews, by the way. Now, year 2 Mark Andrews had an amazing year. That was when he started to, get to what he was going to become. But year 2, Mark Andrews is not the Mark Andrews he's been this year. Now, when we do talk about 2023, we do have to, put him in a separate box. But, 2019 Mark Andrews is not all-pro Mark Andrews. 2019 Mark Andrews is not top 3 tight end Mark Andrews. He had not emerged as that yet. So, you get 2019 Mark Andrews, who was beasting. You get Nick Boyle, who was there for blocking. And you get Hayden Hurst, who had a solid year. So, you get that. 2023. The tight end room for 2023. Obviously, no, not that. Where is it? There, 2023. Oh, wait. What did I do? Oh, because I went to the stats leader. Okay, yeah. But, 2023, Isaiah Likely, Charlie Kolar, and of course Mark Andrews, who is on IR. Now, if we're going to compare 2019's tight end room to 2023 tight ends room, when you just look at it from the basics, automatically Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely win this conversation. But Mark Andrews is down for the count as of right now. Mark Andrews, as of right now, is down for the count. Where is it? IR, yeah, he is down for the count right now. Now, the belief is he comes back. The expectations, I guess, because they have a schedule, and Harbaugh said, hey, he's right on schedule. Might be a bit, a bit above or a bit before. He's already a bit ahead of schedule. That's what I should say. A bit ahead of schedule. So he seems like he's heading towards the right direction. But Mark Andrews is not there right now, though it looks like he will be. So you look at it, you look at Isaiah Likely, you look at Charlie Kolar, and you feel like, okay, tight end room right now, if Andrews is here, easily 2023. But without Andrews, it's definitely more of a solid conversation. Then you get to the receiving room, because we're doing the receivers all together, not just the tight end separately and the receiver. No, we're doing everybody together. You get to the receiving room for 2019, and boy, here we go. We're not going to talk about the depth pieces because Jaleel Scott wasn't getting much time. Chris Moore wasn't getting much time. We're not talking about that. Here are your 4 guys. For your receiving core, Willie Snead, Seth Roberts, rookie Marquise Brown, rookie Miles Boykin. That was 2019. 2019, your receiving core. To repeat, Willie Snead, Seth Roberts, a rookie Hollywood Brown, and a rookie Miles Boykin. Those were your 4 main receivers. How did Lamar win MVP with those guys? I don't know. I'm seriously thinking about that. Whoo! That's your best argument there. Willie Snead, Seth Roberts, a rookie Hollywood Brown, and a rookie Hollywood Brown and a rookie Miles Boykin. If we look at it, Hollywood that year. I don't know if we get into some of the stats, which I don't know. If you take a look at the receiver stats, where we get this? Hollywood Brown that year had 46 catches, 584 yards, 7 touchdowns. So it was good for him with the touchdowns, but yeah, 46 catches, 584 yards. That's what we were getting, and 7 touchdowns from him. So yeah, that was cool. Seth Roberts, 21 catches, 271 yards, 2 touchdowns. Miles Boykin, 13 catches, 198 yards, 3 touchdowns. It was really funny how he got those 3 touchdowns. First one was in week 1. That was a gimme one. Second one was in week 4 against the Browns. Third one was in week 15 against the Jets. But yeah, 13 catches, 198 yards for a season. And then who else? We did Willie Snead. Where is Willie Snead? Willie Snead had a great season. I'm not gonna lie. Considering what he is, 31 catches, 339 yards, and 5 touchdowns. That was the production you were getting from your guys. Hollywood Brown obviously was sticking out, but I'm not gonna lie, bro. The guy that was the clutches in the regular season, some of these cases, bro, Willie Snead was making some tough catches, bro. I'm not gonna lie. From a talent perspective, no. But Willie Snead, man, I'm never gonna disrespect Willie Snead because that man was making some clutch catches for our boy Lamar. Shout out to him. But really, that's the production you were getting from your guys. Now let's take a look at 2023 for a quick second. So we go from rookie Hollywood Brown, rookie Miles Boykin, Willie Snead, and Seth Roberts to a rookie Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Odell Beckham Jr., and Nelson Aguilar. I don't think we need to speak on how much better those guys are from a talent perspective. From a talent perspective, automatically, that is a much better receiving core. Taking a look on the season here, Zay Flowers, 77 catches. I think he broke the rookie record. 77 catches, 858 yards. He's got 5 touchdowns. He also has a rushing touchdown as well. So he has 6 total touchdowns on the season. Odell Beckham Jr., 35 catches, 565 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rashad Bateman, 32 catches, 367 yards. He's got a touchdown. Nelson Aguilar, underrated, 30 catches, 342 yards, 4 touchdowns. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Mm-hmm. 25, 17. 17, 5, 3 is 8. 8, 1, 9, 9. Very interesting. Very interesting. From a statistical standpoint, in terms of catches and yards, this receiving core is doing so much more. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you want to make a comparison. Rookie Zay Flowers has been better than rookie Hollywood Brown. Nelson Aguilar, as a veteran, has been better than anything we got from Seth Roberts. Odell and Willie Snead are giving us similar production. And then you compare Bateman to Boykin, and Boykin did practically nothing for you. Bateman hasn't been great, but he still somehow edges out Boykin. So when you just look at the receiving core as a whole, when you look at the receivers and you look at the tight ends, we know the advantage is going to go to 2023. From a talent perspective, they're better. From a production standpoint, they do have the better numbers. So it's not even close. Likely can definitely make up for Bateman in that case. Now, Likely's numbers would be compared to Hayden Hurst, who was playing well that year, and Likely is better than Hayden Hurst in that aspect. So we know that's where it's compared. So we don't actually use Likely to compare to make up Bateman in the receiving core. We would comparing tight end with tight end. Likely would be compared with Hayden Hurst that year. So yeah, from a talent perspective, the 2023 receiving core is better, and from a production standpoint, they're better as well. The edge does go to touchdowns, though. The edge does kind of go to touchdowns for them, but in 2019, Lamar Jackson was throwing 36 touchdowns. Obviously, they're going to get the edge. Yeah, oh yeah, we already did the offensive line for 2019. 2019 got the edge with the running back room and the offensive line. They got the edge for that. But the Ravens, the 2023 Ravens got the edge with quarterback in the receiving room. So all in all together, yeah, that's 2 so far for the 2019 Ravens, and then that's 3 for the 2023 Ravens. When we get to special teams, I don't think I need to really speak on it. I'm glad the special teams has improved. I'm glad the special teams has gotten better, but the special teams for the first half of the season was not up to par. They were very bad. 2019 special team was consistently great. We don't need to speak on it. 2019 special team gets it. 2019 special teams gets it. No question. 2019 special team, they get it. They get it. I will say the 2019 special teams is better than the 2023 special teams, because the 2019 special teams, they were consistently great throughout the season, whereas 2023, they were bad early on in the season and have slowly gotten better and better as the weeks goes on. So now they're great, but they started the first half of the season, they were not up to par, and we talked about it. Special teams literally cost them against the Colts. So absolutely. So when you look at it, all in all, when we make the comparison, just looking at from a statistical standpoint, Devin Duvernay was way better than James Prochet. Oh my God, we had James Prochet in 2019, didn't? Oh my, hold on. Did we? No, we didn't have him. We didn't have anybody. That's the thing. We didn't have anybody in the returning game, though. But in special teams, they never cost us games, and somehow we were still getting production from the special. That's what I'm saying. It's weird. We were getting production from the special teams in 2019, but they weren't. Prochet was 2020, but yeah, I would give 2019 the edge, even though they weren't getting a lot of production. 2019. Overall, they were just consistently great. They constantly put our opponents' defenses in bad positions. Sam Cook was still killing it, having a Pro Bowl year himself. And they were never a reason that we lost the football game. Whereas special teams this year, they were messy, they were janky, they were making mistakes, people were muffing the ball. The whole situation with the Colts happened. It was a mess early on, but the 2023 special teams has gotten themselves together. So, yeah, I'm going to give the edge to 2019 special teams. So if we take a look at that final score for the most part, all in all, the 2023 Ravens, they win defensively. They have the edge. They have the edge at quarterback, and they have the edge with the receiving core. Whereas 2019, they have the edge in special teams. They have the edge with the offensive line, and they have the edge with the running group. So right now it's 3-3. It's a tie, which basically means we go to the edge breaker. We go to the tiebreakers. All right, let's have some fun. You know I had to do it. You knew I had to do it. Right now it's tied 3 apiece. The 2019 Ravens win with their special teams, their offensive line, and their running game. 2023, they win with their defense, their quarterback, and their receiving core. All right. So now that we've established that it's tied, we need the tiebreaker. So, it's time to talk about these coaches. John Harbaugh is immediately taken out. I'm not about to talk about... We're going to stay back and say this. We're not talking about the strength and conditioning coaches. We're not talking about the linebacking coaches or the wide receiver. No. We're talking about... To break this tiebreaker, we're talking about our coordinators. Harbaugh is exempt. He has been the same man for 15 years. We don't need to talk about him. Offensive and defensive coordinators. Oh, I'm not getting to that mess yet because I know y'all want to go into that so bad. but I have to go to the opposite side. We're starting with Wink Martindale versus Mike Macdonald. I'm not giving you the offense first because I know how y'all want to act. We are starting with the defense here. Ladies and gentlemen, 2019 versus 2023. Wink Martindale. Wink Martindale. If you could combine the two, that'd be crazy. Can you imagine the crazy level of blitzes? If you combined the aggressiveness of Wink Martindale with the genius of Mike Macdonald, we can't play it like that. Okay, yeah, Wink Martindale versus Mike Macdonald. Wink Martindale's defense versus Mike Macdonald's defense. This becomes tough. This becomes very tough. Who do you give the edge here? Who do you give the edge here? Now, I'm going to sit back and say we're not going to talk from a roster perspective because we already know the 2023 defense is better. We already know the 2023 defense is better than the 2019 defense. We're talking about specifically from a defensive coordinator position in terms of scheming up coverages to deal with defenses, whether you're playing zone, whether you're playing man, whether you're choosing the blitz. From a defensive coordinator position, who's better? Wink Martindale in 2019 or Mike Macdonald in 2023? I will say this about Wink Martindale. Wink Martindale is a damn good defensive coordinator. What he was able to do in 2019 was he was finding ways. We didn't have a lot of talent. As I showed you with the roster, we did not have a lot of talent at the pass rushing unit. We were not a great pass rushing unit. We could not consistently get to the quarterback. The only way we were able to get to the quarterback was by blitzing. You know, ironically, you have a defensive coordinator that is blitz happy. Wink Martindale, his brand of coaching, his style of play as an offensive coordinator, his style of play calling as an offensive coordinator is heavy. You play man and you're heavy on the blitz. He is a guy that focuses on playing man coverage and being heavy on the blitz. We are going to send pressure. We don't have the best of talent, but we're going to find a way to get to your quarterback by blitzing. We are going to blitz, sending pressure, and playing man. That was his defense. Mike Macdonald, he doesn't play that way. Mike Macdonald's not looking to play man. He's not looking to primarily play man. Mike Macdonald primarily plays zone. We are a zone defense. Mike Macdonald is not blitz happy. Mike Macdonald, in fact, doesn't even have to send a blitz to get pressure on the quarterback. We are a defense that plays zone and we run to the football. We keep everything in front of us. Nothing gets behind our defense. We keep everything in front of us, and wherever the ball goes, our guys, our linebackers, our DBs, our pass rush, our tackle, they go to the football. Straight up. When it comes to making adjustments, Wink Martindale was not the best at making adjustments. That was actually one of the weaknesses in his specific ability. Wink Martindale didn't really make a lot of adjustments like that. He made some adjustments, but a lot of times with his defense, he really wasn't making a lot of adjustments. He tried to. The only adjustments he was making was switching up how he was going to blitz. He was sending different types of blitzes. That's what he was doing. So, if you just looked at it, that's what he was doing. Like straight up. That's what he was doing. Wink Martindale loved he was a very blitz happy guy. He was a very blitz happy guy that loved to send different levels of pressure because again, we didn't have the capable guys to be able to do what we wanted to do on a consistent basis. But still, you could have looked to make some of the adjustments we would have wanted to see. Unfortunately, there wasn't really a lot of moments where we were in a situation where we needed to make those adjustments. I will say that though too. But Wink Martindale still, I feel like again he did a really good job with this team. Like legit, he did a really good job with this team, and we do have to give him credit with what he's been able to do. Sorry, I'm looking for something right now. I'm actively looking for something right now. Legitimately, I'm looking for something right now. Something I'm trying to look for here. Legitimately trying to figure out what I'm looking for here. It's an actual big piece, but like yeah, with Mike Macdonald, it's a different case, and I want to speak on that too. Maybe I have it in my. Let me see. Dang, I don't think I have it. I don't think I have it. I don't think I have it. I think that should be somewhere. Let me have a quick look here. No, there's gotta be something I was looking for here. That showcases what I was looking for. Boom! Found it. Alright. So yeah, Wink Martindale wasn't really somebody that was really making a lot of adjustments. He played a defense that was focused on man and blitzing. They were a blitz-happy crew. It was a blitz-happy type defense that played a lot of man coverage. Whereas with Mike Macdonald, his defense focuses more on zone. They focus more on zone, where they keep everything in front of them, and everything in front of them, and make sure they run to the ball. Wink Martindale wasn't great at making adjustments. He rarely made adjustments. Mike Macdonald's not the same. This is what I was looking for. This is a tweet here. Maybe I gotta. I don't know. Can I zoom in on this? Nah. I could, but I have to. Yeah, I can. Okay. This was a tweet. Shout out to Ken, because he was able to point this out. In the game against the Dolphins, Tua was getting the ball out quickly, and the Ravens adjusted. So after halftime, Mike Macdonald got to see that Tua and the offense, Tua and the Dolphins offense was looking to get the ball out quickly. That's how the Dolphins really operate. They're an offense that really focuses on timing and speed. Speed and timing are two aspects of their offense. They want to get the ball out within rhythm in a good amount of time. So Tua doesn't hold the ball. A lot of times Tua, he takes that snap, he's looking towards that read, gets it out, fires it quickly. Whether it's Jalen Waddle, whether it's Wilson, whether it's Tyreek Hill, whether he's dumping it off to Mostert or HN, he's looking to get the ball out of his hands quickly and then utilize the speed of these guys. Tua, in that game against Baltimore on Sunday, he was getting the ball out quickly. Mike Macdonald was recognizing that they're getting the ball out quickly and it was able to do some damages. So, Mike Macdonald went into halftime and made some adjustments. So, after halftime, in the second half, Mike Macdonald chose not to use a 5-man rush. He backed everybody into coverage, played more zone the way we do. So he wasn't really sending a 5-6-man rush. It was more of a 3 or 4-man rush. He really wasn't blitzing anybody from off the ball. Didn't call any stunts. And was really looking to employ different variations of pressure, of simulated pressure, that didn't involve having to send 4 or 5 guys, more so dropping individuals back in coverage, playing the 3-4-man rush, staying relatively sound in the secondary, dropping 7-8 guys back there, and making sure everybody plays to the ball. So he noticed that and made the adjustment. In the second half, 43 yards, 3.1 yards per play. Mike Macdonald's been doing this all season. Mike Macdonald is recognizing things that's not working or is affecting the team or is that's beating his defense. He recognizes it and he makes an adjustment. He's recognizing it and he's making adjustments. You weren't getting this from Wink Martindale. Not at all. Not even close. So if we're going to make an argument in terms of who's better in this aspect, Wink Martindale or Mike Macdonald, yeah, we don't need to have that conversation. This tweet is all you need to see. This tweet is all you need to see. This is all you need to see. Macdonald has been doing this throughout the season. If I wish I had the tweet that was talking about what he did against Brock Purdy and the Niners and the situations he put him in that forced the pressure to come, that had everybody backed up to be able to make those type of plays. Macdonald has been doing this. There's a reason why Mike Macdonald is one of the top candidates for being a head coach. These adjustments is a big part of why the Ravens are the number 1 scoring defense. These adjustments are a big part of why the Ravens lead the league in sacks. These adjustments are the biggest part of why the Ravens are leading the league in turnovers. These adjustments has put teams in turmoil. He figures out the weaknesses within your offense. What you're exploiting on his defense, he's going to make sure you don't exploit them. Now, no defensive coordinator is perfect. You're not going to be able to win every game. And there's going to be times when you may make mistakes. But trust me, the fact that this guy makes adjustments, it's quick. It's quick. Well, Wink didn't really have a choice because there wasn't going to be... I spoke about that. I said Wink, and at the same time, I gave more benefit. That's why I started with this one. This one's a whole lot more closer. Mike Macdonald, he gets the edge. He's winning this one. But I said it was a lot more closer because Wink Macdonald was in a situation where he didn't have a pass rush. The pass rushing unit we had in 2019 wasn't strong. He wasn't in the best of position. Talent-wise, I started with the rosters. The 2023 roster is better than the 2019 roster. He didn't have a lot of talent at the pass rushing unit. So he was in a situation where he was forced to blitz a lot more. But at the same time, while he was forced to blitz a lot more, his regular defense is blitz happy. He's doing the same thing with the Giants. That's kind of just how he's always played defense. And it's not exactly like it's a bad thing because it was highly effective in 2019. But his main issue is he doesn't make a lot of adjustments. The amount of adjustments you'll see from him is maybe one. And maybe you rarely see it. He doesn't make a lot of adjustments. He'll change up his style of blitzing, but he doesn't make adjustments. He doesn't adjust to what he's seeing from his opponent. He just continues to blitz. Oh, you're late. Okay. Did you also cover how Macdonald was leading the universe in blown leads before Roquan? Also, yeah, Well, yeah, I did speak partly about that, but that was a situation where we do have to speak. It was his first year. When he was doing that before Roquan, aspect got to be spoken. You are right. I don't think I fully talked about that because I was about to get to the negative aspects of Macdonald. You did come in when I was speaking of the positive aspects. You are fair. You are right, which is why I said it's a lot closer, which is why I want to start with this first. You are right. Early on, Macdonald, their defense was blowing leads, especially before Roquan. They were blowing leads, but that was Mike Macdonald. That was Mike Macdonald in 2022. It was his first year as our defensive coordinator, and he had to figure out how he was going to run this defense, this defense was used to Wink Martindale style. We had to play an entirely different style of defense, and it took some time to get adjusted. So I hadn't spoken about that aspect, though. But that was 2022 Mike Macdonald. Mike Macdonald. I really hate Mike McDaniel and Mike Macdonald. I keep mixing them up. Again, that was 2022 Mike Macdonald, first year defensive coordinator. 2023, you haven't necessarily seen that by Macdonald's defense. The one time where you can kind of make that argument was against the Browns. But Lamar had a pick 6 on that one because the ball got tipped in the air and picked off. So the 7 points we had gotten from Kyle Hamilton was immediately taken back. So that one isn't entirely his fault. That one itself wasn't entirely his fault. A pick 6 basically helped put the game in the situation. So other than that, I'm not saying Macdonald's been perfect. Other than that situation against the Browns, there hasn't been any situation where you could honestly point to this year that Macdonald has been bad as a defensive coordinator. He's been fantastic. And he makes adjustments consistently, unlike something you saw from Wink Martindale. Because Wink Martindale wasn't really making adjustments. He had what he had. He was working with what he worked with and worked at that aspect. Yeah, I wanted to not like Macdonald because I saw him as a nepotism hire and a firing of Wink that was scapegoated to save Roman. However, Mac has been great, so I'm letting it go. That one is an interesting take about that. It did look like that initially, but it did look like initially because Wink Martindale wasn't really at fault for the way things were going in 2021, and it just seemed like they fired him to try to save Roman. But I mean, seeing what Macdonald was able to do, just from a coaching perspective, forget about the hire, about it from a coaching perspective, what he was doing in college before he came back here, he was doing a damn good job, and it showcased that he did deserve a chance. He could have gone anywhere, been a defensive coordinator other than the Ravens, and he probably would have been doing the same thing here. I don't know if it would have been up to the level because he wouldn't have this much talent, but he would have been doing the same thing. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from that aspect, but Macdonald's been great. He's done his job. So yeah, in terms of that aspect, that's more of a John Harbaugh thing. It's kind of a situation there. But we're just doing a whole comparison about 2019 versus 2023. We know Wink Martindale shouldn't have been fired in 2021. Because it really was somewhat of a scapegoat, and it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. But, it is what it is at the end of the day. It was what it was at the end of the day. We're just comparing 2019 Wink Martindale to 2023 Mike Macdonald. 2023 Mike Macdonald is better in that aspect. He's a better defensive coordinator. He's performed better than what we've seen from the play calling standpoint and from an adjusted standpoint. He's done much better and it's been much more consistent than what we saw from Wink Martindale. I think at that point, the edge would have to go to Mike Macdonald in terms of who's the better coordinator. 2019, Wink Martindale, or 2023, Mike Macdonald. I'm going to say 2023, Mike Macdonald. So difficult to say it. Mike Macdonald. Because every time I'm saying it, my mind keeps thinking of Mike McDaniel. But yeah, I'm going to give the edge and say 2023, Mike Macdonald is better than 2019 Wink Martindale. Though I wanted to start with this one first because I think it's a much closer debate than people want to give credit for. And I feel like, a lot of people were holding a lot of the blown leads that were happening in 2021 or a lot of the performances by the defense in 2021. They were holding it on Wink Martindale when it wasn't his fault. It was more of Greg Roman and his offense. But it did feel like he got fired. He was scapegoated to save Roman because they blamed him and said he was the one blowing all those leads when it wasn't his fault. But yeah, in terms of 2019 Wink Martindale versus 2023 Mike Macdonald, I'm taking Macdonald. So yeah, that was the debate there for the most part. So the edge pretty much goes to 2023. They're now up 4-3. This last one could either make it another tie or 2023 gets the edge. Let me get something to drink before we get into this. We've been at this for an hour plus. All right, guys. This one kind of feels like a tiebreaker here. I don't know how we look at it. Oh, boy. It's a weird discussion, I can't lie. It's a weird discussion because we're not talking about 2020. Wink was trash. Yeah, that man did not make adjustments. He did not make adjustments. He was very blitz happy. Which, again, I didn't completely blame him for that. We didn't have a pass rush, so he had no choice but to blitz. The only way we were going to generate pressure is if we blitzed. But he did it a bit too much. He was a little bit too blitz happy. He played more of a man coverage type of defense. And his biggest issue was he didn't really make adjustments. Whereas with Macdonald, he plays more zone. Everybody plays in front, make sure nobody gets behind them, and they play to the ball. And he doesn't really blitz like that. However, we are still able to get pressure and generate pressure. And he also does some disguises on the defense. He mixes up some of the coverages we have here. And he's a bit more creative with the defense than Wink was. But most importantly, he makes adjustments a lot more than Wink Martindale did. So yeah, Macdonald gets the edge on that aspect. But Wink would blitz all the time, but he also had Judon, who looked much worse in the Ravens' uni compared to his Patriots wing. Yeah, he did. He absolutely did. And it was weird, but he absolutely did. He absolutely did. Sorry, I'm just looking at one thing here. I might want to pull up something about... Yes, I think I'm going to have to pull it up. Because we are going to talk about it. We are going to have to pull it up. So, like we said, the edge... Let me turn this off because we're going to have to... We have a couple of things we're going to have to pull up. The edge goes to... Mike Macdonald. And now for the tiebreaker here, you know what time it is. You absolutely know what time it is. And I don't want to do it. Because that year was magical. Judon could come back to Baltimore next season, possibly because of New England not doing good. We don't have the money to give him. We got guys we got to pay. We got Matabike, we got Patrick Queen, Geno. So we got guys we got to pay. We can't afford to bring Judon here. And he's not about to take a pay cut to come play in Baltimore. He left because we didn't want to pay him the money he wanted. So, no, he's not about to come here for a pay cut. We got other guys we got to pay. Man, this is going to be interesting. Like, I pulled out the receipts here. Actually, I don't even know if I... You know what? I'm going to be fair. Nah, you know what? I think I can leave it. Nah, I'm gonna leave it because we're talking about 2019. I'm not gonna be in the other aspect here. Nah, I'm gonna leave it. So I think we know what has to come up next in conversation. I'm gonna leave it. So we do got to get the tiebreaker, and I don't really know what to say about this because we spent years talking about this guy. But the tiebreaker right now, the 2023 has the advantage. Defensively, they have the advantage. They have the advantage with the quarterback. They have the advantage with the receiving room, and they have the advantage because they have a better defensive coordinator. Whereas with the 2019 team, they have a better special teams. They have a better offensive line. They have a better running game. So right now we got a situation where this could either force it to be tied or the edge completely goes to 2023. All right, guys. 2019 Greg Roman or 2023 Todd Monken? I want you to take away everything that's happened with Greg Roman from 2020 to 2022. We all understand how bad that got. We all understand how bad that got. We're not going to sit here and pretend. We're not going to sit here and pretend Greg Roman over the last 3 years wasn't one of the most hated offensive coordinators. It got so bad that people broke into the facility and laid out papers of fire Roman. We know how bad it got with Roman. We know how much people were at the games. When the man is walking into the facility, they're actively screaming at him, bro, you're not going to be here long. You need to go. You're going to be fired soon. Y'all were wilding out there. I know how bad it got. So I want you to ignore the last 3 years. From 2020 to 2022. Ignore that. 2019 Greg Roman, what he did with that offense versus 2023 Todd Monken. What's going on, Matthew? Is there an actual debate to be made here? 2019 Greg Roman's offense. 2019 Roman's offense was one of the greatest running offenses we've ever seen. It was. That man had one of the greatest running offenses we've ever seen. It's probably the greatest running offense we've ever seen. What he was able to do in the run game was amazing. Passing game, it was nothing there. There was nothing there. A lot of this had to rely on the talent of Lamar Jackson, but there wasn't much there in the passing game. Running game, historical running game. No doubt about it. Historical running game. That offense can run on anybody. Easily. Passing game, it came down to Lamar just finding ways to make plays. That man in 2019 as an offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens was sensational. There was a problem, though. Actually, there was two problems. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there was 3 problems. Problem number 1, the Ravens' offense was one-dimensional. If the running game could not be successful, if the running game could not get going, if the running game was not productive, we could not get anything going. We were stuck. In the playoff game against the Titans, the running game wasn't doing much of anything. Lamar Jackson was taking off and using his legs, but the running game wasn't doing much of anything. We actually needed the running game to show up on those quarterback sneaks and those 4th down plays. A whole bunch of nothing. Whole bunch of nothing. So that was the number 1 problem. The running game. The running game. If it couldn't go, that offense collapsed. Number 2. The Ravens' offense was predictable. Now, it wasn't predictable to the point where they were able to catch on to it in 2019 per se and be able to keep up with it. Obviously, in 2020, we saw how predictable that offense really was. But it was predictable in 2019. It was very predictable. You knew Greg Roman was going to spam the hell out of design runs for Lamar Jackson. You knew Greg Roman was going to have Lamar Jackson throw the ball in the middle of the field. There wasn't going to be any perimeter plays. They weren't going to try to test the outside. There was no comeback routes. There was no out routes. There was no hitch. There was no wide receiver screens. There was none of that. There was barely any checkdowns. It was quarterback design runs, a creative variety of run design plays, including one being the Heisman package, which we rarely utilize. We used it once with RG3, Lamar, and Mark Ingram. So you had a variety of different run plays. You had an endless amount of Lamar Jackson design runs. And then in the passing game, let's just attack the middle of the field with Mark Andrews and with Hollywood Brown. Let's not try to get the ball in the hands of our receiver quickly, and let's not do much from there. Also, let's have Lamar Jackson operate under the pistol. That's it. We don't need him under center. We don't really want him in the shotgun like that. Operate primarily under the pistol. That was Greg Roman's offense. So that's the case. And then finally, problem number 3. Greg Roman had no idea how to adjust when his scheme and his plan has been figured out. When somebody figures out his predictable offense, when they're actually able to stop the run and figure out what Roman wants to do, Greg Roman has no answers. He was unable to make adjustments. As soon as there was some cracks in the offense, Greg Roman folded. And when he folded, everybody folded. The game plan folded. They couldn't make any sort of adjustments. That cost him in the playoff game. And then it would go on to cost him consistently throughout the next 3 years. That's what you got with Greg Roman. For extra credit, and this is important because this weakness is the biggest strength for Todd Monken. This weakness of Greg Roman is the biggest strength for Todd Monken. Greg Roman's offensive scheme, Greg Roman's offensive system is built purely off of the control of Greg Roman. What does that mean? Greg Roman's offense is Greg Roman's offense. You cannot change Greg Roman's offense. You cannot adapt. You cannot not adapt. You cannot adjust or add to Greg Roman's offense. Greg Roman's offense is Greg Roman's offense. The only addition that was coming into Greg Roman's offense was from the magical Roman vault. Greg Roman controlled the offense. There was no extra additions coming in unless Roman directly put it in. There was no feedback from anybody else. Roman's offense is the same offense he ran in Buffalo with Tyrod Taylor. It's the same offense he ran with Colin Kaepernick in San Francisco. You don't get control. Roman runs what he wants to run, and there's no changing that. And that was the biggest problem with Greg Roman's offense. On the flip side, Greg Roman's biggest weakness is Todd Monken's greatest strength. Now, Todd Monken's offense, it took some time to get going, as we all expected. The offense wasn't exactly clicking early on, but as the season has gone by, the offense has gotten better and better. And, of course, Todd Monken has been able to dial it up. Todd Monken has been able to dial it up in some of the more bigger moments of the season, and we've been able to see Todd Monken dial it up in some of these big moments. And it's been a fantastic thing to see with Todd Monken dialing it up in some of the more bigger moments of the season. It honestly, it was a beautiful thing, man. It was a beautiful thing. I think one that I actually want to pull out here if I can find it. If I can find it. This is one that I think they may end up bringing back moving forward. Let me see. I wanna bring this up. Need to bring this up. If I can find it. Oy. Let me see. Sorry, there's an aspect that I want to bring up when it comes to Todd Monken when I'm talking about here. Like I said, it took a while. It absolutely took some time, but they were able to get it going. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. So, yeah, it took some time, but Todd Monken's offense absolutely has been just getting better and better as the season goes on. And I feel like this offense can match anything you get from Roman's offense, and in some cases surpass it. But there's a couple elements that makes his offense better. One, I think, is the creativity in the passing game. This is a perfect example of the creativity that we were seeing from Todd Monken. Perfect example. You guys remember on Christmas Day where he wrote this play out. So you got your line here. You're motioning everybody to right. You got your receivers over there. Was this Aguilar, Likely, and Zay. Guess who this little buddy is? Yes, you are not losing your mind. That right there is Ronnie Stanley. It's an interesting formation. I have never seen us run this. So he moved, it kind of like the line was more so rotating towards the right here, and he moved Ronnie Stanley to the right and actually had him line up. You also have to Lamar's right, Gus Edwards. So the play goes, and you see see early on, Lamar's so fast with that. Look at that. You see the ball gets snapped, and it looks like, look where the defense is. They saw Ronnie Stanley go to the right. So they're thinking, okay, they're piling a left tackle, moving him to the right. Obviously, they're about to pitch this to Gus Edwards. And with the way Lamar set it up, it looked like it was pitched to Gus Edwards. He fakes the pitch. Meanwhile, you're seeing Zay Flowers. He's running by everybody. The defense is thinking the ball is going to Gus Edwards. I believe this is Bosa here. He's even looking at Gus Edwards. The defense is collapsing towards that. Instead, it was a fake. The defense right now, they're all stumped. They thought it was going to Gus Edwards. Now you look, everybody's out of position. Everyone's trying to backpedal. And you see who's coming up right here? Zay Flowers getting wide open. Oh, look at him. Wide open. Lamar doesn't waste time. Easy touchdown. That is beautiful play design. This is something that Todd Monken took from his Georgia playbook. That is something they ran in Georgia. That is some of the design plays we have seen from Todd Monken. That is some of the plays we have seen from Todd Monken. Obviously, another one of those would absolutely be this play here, this touchdown here from Lamar to Zay Flowers. The funny thing about it is we actually took this out of the Dolphins playbook, which makes it even funnier because this is the play that they consistently run with Tyreek Hill. They will constantly motion Tyreek Hill to the left or right, and as he's motioning by, the ball gets snapped. So they would constantly do this. Where the ball gets snapped, and all of a sudden, this would be Tyreek Hill, and he would be streaking. This is something that we have constantly seen with the Dolphins. They have constantly done that. He took that and integrated that into our offense and ran that play here. This is just some of the play designs we've seen from Todd Monken for the most part. And it's been great watching that be the case. So yeah, Todd Monken has been a bit more creative in the passing game. Something Roman was never able to do. Creativity in the passing game. Another thing Roman wasn't able to do is adjust. We've seen throughout the season, Todd Monken has been able to make adjustments. Todd Monken has made adjustment with his offense. When certain aspects isn't working, he'll try to dial up something else. Now, that doesn't mean he's always perfect. I don't like some of the wide receiver screens we run because when it's not about the design of the play or the play call itself, it's about how it's being ran. If we're going to run these screens behind the line of scrimmage, yeah, for Zay Flowers, you got to give him some blockers. So I feel if we do a better job in running those screens by giving him some blockers so he has space to run, I think that play can be very successful. Todd Monken hasn't been perfect. There's been times where he's made mistakes with some of his play designs where all of a sudden you got two wide receivers in the same place. I think there's an example of that too in the Rams game where you had two receivers in the same place, and that's a bad case of spacing. There's been some times throughout the season where spacing has been an issue for Todd Monken, so he's not the best. He has not reached that yet, but this is year one with Todd Monken, so we do give him some leeway with that. Not to mention, it hasn't always been the case with a lack of spacing throughout the season. Todd Monken has been able to, be creative in the offense. He's been able to make adjustments, and in all honesty, the biggest thing is his offense is more versatile than Greg Roman's. The funny thing about it is we were the number one running offense in 2019. We're the number one running offense in 2023. So not much has changed between that. We're still running the ball as effective. Theirs was at a historical pace, but we're still running the ball just as good. Not like that, but still just as good. We're the number one running team in football for a reason. Number one in rushing. Think about that. Lost Greg Roman, still number one in rushing. Interesting. So you're getting that production, and then you're getting what you're getting from the passing game. The creativity, the versatility, the way we're able to just mix and match some of the plays we're running, some of the play designs from Todd Monken. You can absolutely see that Todd Monken is the clear answer here. Now, we will have to see how Todd Monken fares in the playoffs. So we're going to give him a chance. Todd Monken is going to get the edge. But in order to solidify this, in order to get the true answer, we're going to find out in the playoffs. In terms of what Todd Monken does, if this team faces any adversity early on, what adjustments is Todd Monken going to make to the offense to get us going? We're going to figure it out. But Todd Monken, no question, he's been much more versatile. His offense has been much more versatile, been much more balanced. He's done a great job with play design at times, and he's been able to make adjustments more consistently than Greg Roman ever does. But the number one thing that makes Todd Monken better than Greg Roman is because Greg Roman's biggest weakness is Todd Monken's strength. Complete and utter freedom. What do I mean by that? Complete and utter freedom of the offense. Greg Roman ran his system however he wanted to run it. Nobody was able to change that system. Nobody was able to add to that system. Greg Roman's system, it was what it was. It wasn't going to change no matter what. It was what it was. No question. It was what it was. You couldn't add to that. You couldn't add to that at all. Not to mention, his offense was so unique, and we were the only one that was running that. Unfortunately, it's not really seen as an NFL offense because it doesn't function as an NFL offense. Mainly running your offense through the pistol, it's not exactly how we play football in the NFL. It's not. Who do I have winning? I picked the Texans to beat the Colts. I got Buffalo beating Miami. But the way we were running an offense in 2019 was so uniquely different to anything we've seen. I don't think we've seen something that unique from an offense since the Wildcat that the Dolphins were running back in 2009 or something like that. But the Wildcat was definitely different. The Wildcat was absolutely different in that aspect. Roman's offense was so uniquely different, but it really wasn't built to be able to be consistently effective. It wasn't built for the long run, and it couldn't really maintain itself in this level, in this era of football. It was not really a true NFL offense. It was so unique, and it worked because Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson. He's the only one that can make that system work in the NFL. I don't think anyone else can actually make that system work like that. But it wasn't really a true NFL offense. Whereas you look at Todd Monken's offense, it's true NFL offense. This is an offense that runs the ball, but we can also drop back and pass. This is a passing football team. It doesn't rely only on the run, and if they got to throw the football for 300-400 yards, they have no problem doing it. This is a modern day NFL offense that we're seeing being run by Todd Monken. Yeah, absolutely. No. Yeah, I would completely say. I was about to add something like, well, maybe a little. No, I was thinking about that, but no. Absolutely, it's definitely a modern day offense. Because we do mix in some design runs, but that's the only thing that makes it a little bit different. But overall, it's still a modern day offense. Todd Monken runs a modern day NFL offense. An offense that can be a drop back offense that can run these empty sets, drop back and throw the football. Greg Roman's was unique. But most importantly, it was his system add to it. Whereas, complete and utter freedom. Everybody has a voice, everybody has a say, everybody has an input. Specifically, Lamar Jackson. Like I said, Greg Roman's system was his system and his system only. Lamar Jackson had no no ability to add to that offense. No voice, nothing. He couldn't do anything in that offense. Here's what I'm talking about. 2019, Lamar Jackson. He gets the play call from Greg Roman. Quarterback, design quarterback run for Lamar. He gets the call from Roman. It's going to be a design run for Lamar Jackson. Or they're just going to drop back and pass, whatever. He gets the call from Roman. Lamar tells the offense in the huddle what the play is. They break out the huddle. They get set. The ball gets snapped. Lamar runs the play. That was the 2019 Ravens. Anyone see a problem with that? Anyone noticing something that's missing there? I'll repeat it again. Greg Roman gives Lamar Jackson the play. Lamar Jackson tells the play to the guys in the huddle. They break the huddle. They get set. Clock is winding down with 5 seconds left. They take the snap and run the play. Anyone see a problem with that? Because I see several red flags. The biggest issue with that is Lamar is not given the freedom to actually do his job as a quarterback. Because Monken controls everything, there is no actuality for him to do anything as a quarterback. Now let me tell you what Todd Monken's offense is. How Todd Monken's offense works and how it works under Lamar with Todd Monken. Todd Monken gives the play to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson tells the play to the guys in the huddle. They break out of the huddle. Now, one thing I forgot. With Greg Roman, they break out of the huddle with 10 seconds left. Todd Monken, they break out of the huddle with 20 seconds left. Guys get set. Lamar Jackson immediately takes a look at the defense, starts making adjustments at the line of scrimmage, starts pointing out where the blitz or where the pressure's coming from. He's making adjustments at the line of scrimmage. If he has a matchup that he likes or something that he sees from the defense that he feels we can exploit, Lamar immediately does this, i.e. calls an audible, changes the play. The receivers know what he's calling when he calls that audible. They move from their formation, an entirely different formation. Lamar makes one more adjustment. They snap the ball. Anybody noticing a difference between the two? Anybody noticing a difference between the two? I'm just saying. Anybody noticing a difference between the two? I'm just saying. Give me a second here. In case you thought, okay, that's cool. Let me see. Sorry, I'm just looking for stuff just in case anybody wanted to see anything here. Actually, I might want to go here. Give me a second, guys. I love it. I love having to show this. I actually can, do this visibly. Trying to see It's definitely going to be an interesting one here. Okay, so I think this is one that could be good. So just to show this, just to show this in terms of what I was talking about. Let me pull this up here. Just to show this. This is 2019. Obviously, you see what Lamar kind of operating under the pistol here. This is 2019 against the Jets. Notice how the play clock's at 6 seconds. So they just got set at this point. They had just got set at 6 seconds. Lamar got the call from Roman. They had just got set. He told them to play. They come out of the huddle, and this is them just getting set. This is Lamar in 2019. That's what we were doing under Greg Roman's system. I will play it again. They just got set. I want you to again notice 6 seconds on the clock. Once again, that is legit Lamar Jackson in Greg Roman's system. Lamar Jackson in Greg Roman's system. Did you see any adjustments there? Did you see any switch up? Did you see any time to make any adjustments? I didn't. Now let me show you Lamar Jackson in Todd Monken's offense. Let me show you in his system and what Lamar Jackson is actually able to do. So here we go. This is week 2 against the Bengals. They're getting set. Watch Lamar here. Did you see? Did you see? Did you see? Did you see? You see a clear difference? You see a clear difference? Do you see a clear difference? I will play it again. I will play it again. Under Todd Monken's system, let's look at the difference here. Look at how much time they have to be able to do this. Look at Lamar giving the plays, motioning, likely to the other side here. Actually, yeah, that's likely to the other side here. Look at him. You saw how he noticed that. He noticed something in the defense, making an adjust. Look at the adjustments he's making. Also, notice how he's playing under center instead of the pistol. This was week 2, by the way. This was week 2. This was week 2. This was week 2. I just wanted to throw that out there. It was week 2. It was week 2. It was week 2. I just wanted to throw that out. That was week 2. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter when I found this. It's just I'm typing it on Twitter right now when I pulled it up. That's week 2. Did you notice a difference between Greg Roman's system and Todd Monken's system? Seems like with one system, he just gets to play, snaps the ball, and goes. In another system, he actually gets to do his job as a quarterback. We don't need to continue this. Okay, we don't. We don't. We'll see how they do in the playoffs, though. But we don't need to continue this. Okay? We don't. Greg Roman, what he did in 2019, it was awesome. It was great. It was a spectacular season. But we're not going to sit back. If we're talking about who's better, we're not going to sit back and pretend that what we're seeing from Todd Monken doesn't surpass what we saw from Greg Roman. Much more versatile. Much, much more versatile. It's not even a conversation. It's not even a conversation, man. I'm serious, bro. It's not even a conversation. You're actively seeing this. You're actively seeing a clear difference. You're actively seeing a difference. Greg Roman, his system was great. It was great in 2019. It was great in 2019. Absolutely great in 2019. We cannot deny that. It was absolutely great in 2019. It was absolutely great in 2019. But we don't have to keep pretending. We don't have to keep pretending like we don't see what we see. We don't have to keep pretending. We don't. Todd Monken is better. And yeah, not to mention Lamar's not taking any unnecessary hits. Yeah, because we're not running quarterback design runs like that anymore. But we don't have to sit here and pretend. It's clear as day in the film. You can obviously tell who's better. What would you rather have? Ravens draft Nick Chubb over Hayden Hurst in 2018 draft, or Ravens keep C.J. Mosley and Matt Judon? I'll take Nick Chubb. Let's say the exact scenario happens, but we get Nick Chubb. I'm cool. First of all, C.J. Mosley, we didn't want to keep him. We drafted Patrick Queen specifically to replace C.J. Mosley. We weren't going to keep him. And Matthew Judon, we knew we weren't going to pay him either. So no, I'm perfectly fine with what we have. Give me Nick Chubb. That's an easy question. Not even a debate. Not even a debate. I would take Nick Chubb 1,000 times over. What he can bring to the table far surpasses what those two can bring to the table combined. And I still get to keep Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith, and what Matabike is doing. Yeah, I'm going to stick with what I have here. Not even going to waste my time. I'll absolutely stick with what I have here. It's not even a conversation. Not even a debate at this point. Perfectly fine with what I have here with these guys. Perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine with what we have here with these guys. Like, I'm not even trying to do anything past that. But yeah, I don't think there's anything that really needs to be said past this, man. I'm just being honest. Like, past that, I don't think there's anything else that needs to really be said. Nah, y'all good. Y'all don't need any safeties. Y'all be fine. We don't need y'all to take any more safeties. Y'all good. Y'all stick with what y'all have. Y'all got some good players over there. We don't need you getting any better, okay? You got what you got. Stick with what you have, dog. We don't need you getting any better. We don't need you getting any better. What we need from you, I'm going to need you to keep doing what you're doing. Don't give us anything else. It's a good thing you cleanse your division. Oh, you claim your. Oh, you clinched your division in the first. It's the first seed. That way you don't have to deal with that ref. Yeah, I know about that. It's interesting. For me, I'm scared of how we'll do in the playoffs as favorites. We wet the bed, but as underdogs, we win. I mean, we'll have to figure it out. Let's see if this team's. We'll see. We'll have to figure out what this team's made of, man. We're going to have to figure out what this team's made of, you know. Sometimes you just have to go out and show us what you can do. But it is what it is. It's so bad we had to move. Yeah, that is true. We did have to move. I mean, y'all be fine. Patrick Peterson, you already knew he's at the end of the road. He's clearly at the end of the road. You'll be fine, though. I'm sure you'll be fine. Like, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Oi. I may have to look for another one here in terms of what I'm looking for. Oh, that's not fair. Both AFC and NFC South divisions are trash. Yeah, I mean, it looks to be that case for the most part. Haven't really gotten to see much from the aspects of in terms of In terms of what you would hope to see, you didn't really see much from that aspect. There hasn't really been much to really see in that aspect because 2000 Ravens versus 23 Ravens, old rules, nobody. I mean, that's a different conversation. I'm not here to debate that. We'll be here all day if I do that. I am not here to debate that. I am not here to debate that. We will be here all day if I attempted to do that. I am not here to debate that. But yeah, it's been that kind of it's been an interesting season to really look at how things are going. And if you really look at the comparisons, but yeah, in terms of Greg Roman versus Todd Monken, I don't think I have. Do I really need to do this? I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but we know who's better. We don't need to continue to beat a dead horse. Okay, we don't need to continue to be a dead horse. We could just let that go. And, yeah, Greg Roman and it's unfortunate to say, but we just know. We just know, okay? We just know, okay? We don't need to continue the aspect in that case. We just know. How can we retain Mike Macdonald after the season? Also, I fear that our coordinators will get interviewed mid-playoff like Eagles last year and remove their focus from winning. First of all, everyone's trying to win a ring here. There's nobody in that locker room in Baltimore is trying to lose their focus here. Second of all, I don't know if Mike Macdonald's looking to be a head coach yet because this is his second year as a defensive coordinator. Maybe he wants time. Thirdly, in order to retain him, it all comes down to Steve Bisciotti. You pay him head coach money, and you give him a verbal agreement that when Harbaugh's gone, you're going to be the next head coach of this team. I just feel like if you do that, you put yourself in a position where it's like, okay, this guy's going to be the next person, and we can just go from there. But again, we just have to see. I don't know if they'll try it. But if you ask me, I'm more than willing to sit back and say, yeah, he should. I'm more than willing to sit back and say, yeah, he should get a chance on that one. But I don't know if they're going to be willing to try it. Like I said, you pay him head coaching money. What if Mike Tomlin has another winning season and he will pass the Cowboys for most winning season, meaning Cowboys have to win a Super Bowl? I don't know. Honestly, you can continue to have all those winning seasons. If they're not going anywhere with those winning seasons, at the end of the day, the seasons just become what they are. It's just like, okay, well, you're winning. That's cool that you're winning, and we appreciate you winning, but you have to do more than what you're giving us. Like, just winning isn't enough. Like, just finishing with winning seasons just isn't enough for what we're looking for. And if he can't offer you anything more than that, I don't know what to tell you, dog. I honestly don't know what to tell you. Who gives you guys the most problems, TJ Watt or Myles Garrett? Honestly, both. I don't think there's anyone that gives. There's been plenty of games where TJ Watt's directly impacted, and there's been games where Myles Garrett is directly impacted. They both have been legit issues for Baltimore to have to deal with. But who knows? Some people will probably lean more towards TJ Watt because I think TJ Watt's done more consistent damage. I'll sit back and say TJ Watt's done more consistent damage than Myles Garrett. But both of them do mega damage. And we always have trouble against the Steelers. So you kind of just have to take that at face value. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Steelers are halfway to where Cowboys are both irrelevant in the playoffs. That is funny. But, yeah. I think at the end of the day, Todd Monken would be seen as a better offensive coordinator than Greg Roman. So 2023 Todd Monken, he has a more versatile offense, has a more balanced offense, has a more creative offense in the pass game, and actually makes adjustments. Not to mention the freedom he gives Lamar Jackson to do his job as a quarterback, as opposed to the limited role Lamar Jackson was in, and he just had to rely on his own talents. What the Ravens need to do is to play starters the first half, then rest the second half. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or Friday. No, tomorrow's Wednesday. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or Thursday. But we will have the conversation about whether or not Lamar Jackson and the starters should rest. We're going to have another live stream before the game, so be on the lookout for that. Eagles will have problems in the playoffs if the Saints get in because Eagles have no defense. It's Thursday tomorrow. No, today's Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday, and then afterwards Thursday. Today's Tuesday. So yeah, either tomorrow or Thursday, we'll probably have another live stream about should we rest our starters versus should we, play them. Rest versus rust. We'll have the whole discussion and debate. Either way, at the end of the day, I'm going to give the edge to Todd Monken, or at least I'm going to give the edge with a question mark. The way this answer can be fully answered is if Todd Monken and the Ravens offense shows up in the playoffs. If that was to happen, automatically he gets the full marks. I thought it was what? No, it's tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. So that's just how it is. Anyway, guys, this has been an interesting thing. I spent 2.5 hours doing this stream. 2.5 hours. I was not expecting to be here this long, but this has been a wild debate, and I felt the need to do so. 2.5 hours to be here is crazy behavior. But we stuck through, and we did it. Either way, guys, this has been fun. It's been great. I'm going to end it after 2.5 hours. The winner of this Edge matchup is... Well, yeah, damn near 3 hours. I didn't expect it to be this long. The winner of this matchup, 2019 Ravens versus 2023 Ravens, I'm giving the edge to the 2023 Ravens. We'll see if they can learn from what 2019 Ravens did, learn from their mistakes, and go farther this time around. With that being said, guys, I appreciate you stopping by for this stream. I'm going to end it here. Be on the lookout. Maybe tomorrow or Thursday we'll do a stream about whether or not the Ravens should rest their starters or play them. We'll have that debate and have that discussion. With that being said, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream. Appreciate you guys. And with that being said, that's all I got. And I'm out of here, man. Peace out.